Hello everyone, welcome back on this beautiful Sunday to Virtua Gaming Live. I am number 2 Ginger, joined by VMAC once again, 2 days in a row. We're here for Virtua Gaming Grit versus Dorado Gaming Epsilon. Mac, it's a pleasure to be back with you. How has your past 24 hours been?
Well, I've not slept much, but I am very, very keen to get into this cast. This will be my second cast for the day, so I'm pretty excited. I've got the juices flowing. I'm ready to get moving. So as we're getting into this draft, I have been informed the Dorado Gaming Epsilon, or Doge, has gone completely undefeated in the series so far, winning 4 games out of the 4 they have played. These guys are the favourite set to win, but as we know here, VG Grit, I'm sure, are the favourite set to win in the audience right now. So obviously we saw them play yesterday. I believe they were defeated by TSS, which is unlucky, but we'll hopefully see a recovery here today so they can show off a bit more of what we saw at the beginning of that series yesterday, and we'll hopefully showcase a bit more of their skill against Doge here, proving that they are not a force to be underestimated. Now, I do believe that Doge is forgoing 3 bans. Is that correct, Ginger?
Yeah, Doge is losing 3 bans because they are e-subbing their ADC, and Terra Academy is a bit strict on the e-sub usage. Most leagues are typically 1 to 2 per e-sub, but RA is all 3, so that's why you don't see any bans coming across for Doge. Virtua Gaming Grit is going to throw their 3 bans out, so they just get an immediate kind of draft advantage to have the draft however they want, and all of their power picks are open. So curious to see if we feel that maybe the draft is really strong sided towards Grit, or if Dorado Gaming is still able to pull out a strong draft themselves.
Well, I would not be shocked to see if Dorado Gaming wins this game even with these draft disadvantages, that it puts VG on a very bad back foot here. Now, we are seeing the Gwen, obviously a very strong flex pick. Regardless, most top laners and junglers can play her in this kind of stage. Gwen is always a pretty safe pick. I would not be shocked to see her locked in. The Veigar, also a very good pick at the moment, seeing a lot of pressure in the mid lane. I don't think it's a flex pick. I could be mistaken, for maybe it's a flex mid support, but I've generally seen Veigar picked in the mid lane. Pretty good with these buffs that have come through for him, so not too shocking to see that pick here, that target removal. The Jinx obviously being basically pick ban prio for an ADC nowadays. I would not be shocked to see something like the Thresh or a Lulu coming out for VG to help supplement this Jinx being this true hyper carry. And it's nice to see that they've got an alternative carry other than the Jinx here, because I feel like what a lot of teams struggle with when they really go into this kind of draft is kind of drafting this one big hyper carry for these late game team fights, and then you start to struggle when they do eventually get picked off by, let's say, targeted removal, and then Aphelios Thresh comes out. That's obviously a really good strong combo. Thresh giving Aphelios that safety that he requires, also giving you some pick potential on that Jinx. Aphelios being a really good hyper scaling match carry in order to contest this Jinx pick. The J4 coming through, obviously very strong early game skirmishing. Jungler going to be looking for some plays, maybe around the bot side to get this Jinx an early lead. So we'll have to see. Any thoughts, Ginger?
Yeah, Virtua Gaming finished off their draft with Jarvan. I think it's super standard by both teams. The Veigar pick is a bit weird to me, but Falston had a really good pop-up performance yesterday, I believe in game 1, the game Virtua Gaming Grit won. So they're very confident in his performance. The champion is, very naturally countered by just range. If Dorado Gaming took something like Jace Corki with an Ezreal, I mean, even the Aphelios is high range. It's very hard for Veigar to actually play the game.
Yeah,
so it's a very cocky pick, and I'm surprised they picked the Jinx this early, because Veigar, as I said, can be flexed, and we've been seeing it a lot ADC as well, just picking AB carry, and you maybe take like the Aurelia mid or something. So they're just straight up saying that Falston is going to take it mid. With the RA band as well, he played that last series, so interesting to see how that works out, and Falston can do well on that. But second half bans coming out, focused towards the jungle from Virtua Gaming Grit, and Dorado Gaming banning out any counters towards that Thresh. Bit surprised that VG didn't maybe take the Lulu or the Nautilus there themselves, instead of hiring this Jarvan, but I'm hoping to see Izzo get some really good early game action going. I think we saw in all 3 games that him being proactive in the early game really led Virtua Gaming to some nice plays and early game leads.
Yeah, absolutely. The Xin Zhao and the Trundle being banned out here. Obviously, the Trundle being a pretty good match to this Gwen. Trundle being one of the few top laners in the game that can kind of match this Gwen's early trading power. Xin Zhao also being able to keep up with J4's early ganking pressure. You're right about the Nautilus. I'm quite shocked that wasn't snapped up from the side of Jinx. Nautilus being a pretty strong combo, good pick potential, good roaming support on the side of Nautilus, good team fight engage. Pretty standard. Also can look for some roams. I like the Zillion hover here. I wonder if this is what they're going to go for. Is it locked in?
Yeah, it's locked in.
Nice, I really like that. So that's giving a really good extra scaling option. So Zillion, I don't know if I said it in the cast yesterday, but Zillion is one of the best scaling enchanters in the game, and probably one of the few hyper scaling supports in the game. They're like Jinx, no, not Jinx, sorry. Zillion, Yumi, Sona, Senna, ones that come to mind, but Zillion probably definitely the most potent and reliable in this esports scene at the moment. I really like seeing that. It will really facilitate that Jinx going crazy with that ultimate, the movement speed, just enhancing that get excited that we expect to see these resets and stuff coming down. I like the Gragas here, maybe some zone control, some engage, and fairly decent jungle pick here to try and contest this J4 early. What's your thoughts on that, Ginger?
Ooh, it's going to be, yeah, the Yone mid there for Dorado. So interesting last pick into that Vigar. Vigar should have a fine time into that matchup, but Yone is quite a well-designed champion. We'll put it at that. Yeah, I don't know about the Zillion. I feel like it's really, really weird you're picking Zillion when Lulu is still up. I kind of just feel like Lulu is better in every single way as an enchanter. You know, Zillion probably gets like a late game better, and the ultimate can feel nice. But the only real target that Zillion has a very good time with, again, is Jinx this game. Shen's going to be the last pick for Virtua Gaming Grit, so a nice answer into the weak side Gragas. You're both just kind of tank slapping each other, but Shen will just have more map control, so I like that pick. And, you know, I think both teams have pretty, like, ABC standard drafts here. I like Dorado Gaming's drafts a lot. I think they have 5 like super strong meta champions, and I feel like Virtua Gaming Grit is a lot more drafted towards comfort. So I think it's going to be a nice war between comfort versus strict meta.
Absolutely, and I'm interested to see how this plays out. I feel like VGG, whilst I kind of like this really hyper scaling draft they've picked, it's all scaling. There is no strong side lanes here, I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure they're all weak side, all have to be played around. I'm not quite sure this will be able to get them through the early game, but there's nothing too crazy on the side of Doge here, so nothing that maybe make them sweat, especially that Yone into the Veigar. I think Veigar will end up doing quite okay into that. So it's not, well, I mean, it depends. Yone is a balanced champion, as I'm sure we all have known and played against, so you never know really what could happen. Theoretically, Veigar shouldn't be having an awful time if he plays smartly around this cage, the zone control, but it's up in the air, right, Ginger? I'm sure you've seen a fair amount of outplays come out from Yone's in your games and in these casts that you've been doing so far, so I'm not too shocked to see Yone just lock down this Veigar and delete him before he even gets the chance to respond.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a bit of a Yone advocate myself. I do play him a bit. I personally think right now he's stronger top than mid.
Yeah.
But you know, Yone has the chance to obliterate Vigar if Felsen misplays a cage or steps up a bit too far. And even, you know, if, let's say, like, both champions are 0-5, like, you have an 0-5 Veigar and 0-5 Yone, you're so much more scared of the 0-5 Yone. And that's just kind of, you know, the problem with the champion is he's just always has a chance. And, you know, saying that, it's also, it's going to be a problem for Virtua Gaming Grit is who is going to be able to match Yone and Gwen in these side lanes if they get going. You know, Shen can do an all-right job, but you have a 1-3-1 situation going on where Gwen also can split push, and now you don't really have a great other answer for that, as Vigar just kind of is going to get obliterated in the side lane by either one of them later in the game, unless Vigar gets a very good lead. But, you know, as you're saying, the scaling is there for Grit. If they get to the team fights and the 5v5s, it feels pretty good.
Yeah, absolutely, and we did see Grit being able to pull this off yesterday. They were able to reach the point in which they were like playing pretty well. I think they did take that first game, so it wasn't too bad for them when they managed to get to this point, but the issue is, how do they get to this point safely? What do they play around? Obviously, this J4 pick is trying to look for some answers early, and is able to try and play a tad more aggro. I don't think that the Zillion is a bad shout here into the Thresh either. Obviously, Thresh does have that lantern for the escape, but Zillion is able to kind of choke them out, make it so that they basically can't step up, can't play the game. Zillion Slow is incredibly oppressive. I feel like a lot of people don't realize how much Zillion Slow tends to add up when you start getting to this mid game. When he gets a couple of points in it, it really tends to be like almost a stun in a way. 99% slow is going to really chunk you out, but it's about surviving that lane phase. Maybe Thresh can do some crazy hooks and getting some early plays down. It really, you know, it depends. We'll have to see as we get into the game. I don't want to cast the curse things too much. The more and more we theorize and talk about what's going to happen, the more and more things could go completely different. So I don't want to get too much into it.
Yeah, I think I speak for both of us when I say that we're super excited for this game, super excited to see how it plays out and which team can pick up game one and take some momentum into game two. Hopefully, it should be a battle of two powerhouses for this league, and both teams want to get off to a positive start and snowball these games. So we are going to take a quick break while we wait for the spectator delay to kick in. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with game one of the night, Dorado Gaming Epsilon versus Virtue Gaming Grit. And welcome back, everyone, into game one of the night, Dorado Gaming Epsilon versus Virtue Gaming Grit over on Virtue Gaming Live Twitch channel. I am number 2 Ginger, your play-by-play and producer for the night, joined by the Mac, who will be my lovely color caster, for the second night in the row. Mac, I'm hoping that we get some sort of banger like we did yesterday. Maybe not a long third game since you did seem a little dead at the end. But either way, what are you looking for in these games?
Don't worry, I'll try and stay as alive as possible. I am looking forward to seeing some early skirmishes go down. I want to see some early action. Maybe a Gragas barrel toss is exactly what I need to start it going. I like seeing this Gwen jungle. We've only really seen the Gwen top picked, like, or at least in the games I've casted for this league. I've only really seen that Gwen top played, so I'm really interested in seeing this Gwen jungle and how it plays out versus this team comp. Obviously, I'm excited to see this Yone too. This mid laner is very, very, very good at Yone, I should say. I've seen his stats. The guy is kind of crazy. So I want to see some really high mechanical outplays here. I really want to see how this Thresh plays. I want to see some crazy action. I'm not sure what action I really want in terms of like early plays to go around. I suppose something like maybe some early pressure mid lane, trying to accelerate either that Yone or that Veigar as much as possible, because I feel like we've had way too much action about the bot lane recently. So really getting maybe some mid lane action going down, I'd be quite a bit more interested.
Yeah, something interesting to point out here is that Kongi on the Zion actually went for the Cull start. So he is definitely dedicating himself to the scaling. Bit of an aggressive trade coming out in the bot lane, but another for the viewers, Frozen Inferno is indeed Mad Plague from yesterday. He just decided to name change between games. And Dog Manny, the ADC for Dorado Gaming, is their E-sub. So just in that bot lane, all we got is that E-sub, and don't get too confused with Frozen Inferno. He is still the Mad Plague that we know and love, that plays the Zillion as false. Looking for that hook, not gonna land.
Yeah, so it's nice to see a little bit more aggro in this bot side from just the laners themselves, rather than it being a kind of farm fest initiated only in combat by this jungle play. Speaking of though, both junglers are looking to path down to this bot side, so top lane is going to remain a little bit of a dueling island. Speaking of dueling, a little bit of trading there on the top side. Don't think it's going to result in any big action yet. But as you can see, J4's already started pathing down to this bot lane. They do not have vision control. They are stepped far forward. J4 can maybe look for something here. Yeah,
here comes the Isonator looking for the Flag Dragon. He's going to get the knockup on Manny, who didn't flash it. Flashes now. Stun's going to come out from Frozen Inferno. Do they have the damage to finish it off? I don't think so, as Red Gun was out for Manny to get that healing. Isonator trading some damage back. And Flash and Heal down going to be burned from Manny.
A really excellent trade, and honestly I feel like even though the Gwen is here,
oh, flash from false, but he misses the flay the wrong direction. He's gonna look for the hook on Frozen Inferno. Frozen Inferno does not flash, he eats the hook instead, and that's a greedy play, my friend, gonna result in first blood for Dorado Gaming.
A bit of a mechanical misplay there from false, but at the end of the day, that little bit of cockiness from Frozen Inferno gets him killed. I feel like he probably should have just taken
Isonator the back in the mid lane, I think off screen. His flash was burned, so he has no flash, so he's going for the trade onto false, and he's going to E away, but he's going to have to come back to that body, and that is going to be the kill, going over to false, and a nice follow-up gank from Isonator there on the flashless mid laner.
Okay, so quite a few things happen there. This Aphelios already had this farm lead going into this trade that happens. Now the Aphelios gets the kill down onto that Zillion because he doesn't want to waste his flash. Ends up burning the flash anyways, even after getting hooked, dies regardless. Not in a great spot, especially because even though the bot laner has traded their flash, that Thresh still has that pressure of initiation with the Hex Flash. All they're going to try and do here is maybe shove out and try and match this farm and this push, but I don't think it's going to be enough. I feel like it's already set VGG on the back foot here, and Doge is trying to take a little bit of advantage, but getting that early kill down on the side of, there's a trade going down bot lane, not going to result in anything. That early kill going down on the side of Veigar obviously puts Paulson in that slight lead position, but the Cull pick and the start from Kongi here, I quite like that. I think he expects to go into this losing lane matchup, maybe expects for quite a bit of pressure to be put on him in this mid, so just staying safe and farming, trying to get the gold through that like mini game of the Cull is the smartest option here. The body slam goes wide from Gragas, and he's very low on that.
Linguini getting a bit aggressive here onto Terra. Linguini stalls the flash, but he's just eating all the damage from Terra. Terra's gonna flash forward, and that is the kill. The direct to camera instantly pushed back for some reason right when the kill came out, but Terra with a solo kill up in the top lane.
Really well played from Terra, but I feel like the flash is unnecessary. It kind of looked like the minions were going to kill him anyways, but never...
Ooh, hook coming out, though, on to Frozen Inferno in this bot lane. He had no flash, no exhaust, and he is just dead instantly. 20 bucks in, turning back on the false, getting a bit low here, eating all the minion damage. 20 bucks in, gonna look for some damage here, gets the zap, gonna get the finish. The health potion comes through, flashes forward for the finish. Now, Falsten is here, gets a good cage, and it is so much damage coming through. 20 bucks in, going down so low, are the minions gonna finish him off? One more auto, no! He lives with 1 HP.
Really, really well played. I love the Predator on the Veigar, seeing that funny little man hop down to bot lane. The cage was enough to get Manny stuck in that position in which 20 bucks name is able to pick up that double. That is going to be a really nice way of these Jinx recuperating over those losses that were taken against the Zillion. Frozen Inferno needs to play a little bit further back. He's playing a bit too aggro for this lane position he is in.
Oh, look what's going on top here. It's a 3-man as Terra's going to get ulted away immediately. Hybrid carry isn't going to finish him off. Kongi dash back to earlier. Hybrid carry's going to take 2 tower shots. Now Terra is up here. He has no health pots burning. 1 HP is not a really good spot. He gets the shield, but it's not going to be enough. There's this inevitable doom, but he was able to build some time at least for VG to trade over that dragon in the bot side.
Not ideal. Definitely wanted that kill straight to go into Kongi, and you can see that was the original plan. Hybrid carry even stopped attacking the Shen so that Kongi could get that kill. The Q goes wide, the W doesn't do enough to finish him off, and Hybrid carry does end up whiffing that Q. The kill eventually goes onto the Gragas, not the target you want the kill on. This is not your carry at the end of the day. Trying to accelerate this Yone win condition as fast as possible was definitely the goal here from Doge. A slight misplay, but at least it's a lead somewhere. Speaking of,
I'm getting a bit aggro there.
I love seeing Yone's buffer CC with that. I feel like it's a lot harder than people give it credit for. It's actually a pretty interesting mechanic, and I kind of like it. It's kind of unfair at the same time, but it's kind of cool to watch, in my opinion. Anyways, I'm sure there's going to be many people in chat raging about that, but
it's kind of OP, bro. I'm not gonna lie.
Hey, I'm not a Yone enthusiast, but it's funny to watch. I will say. I do think it's a little overtuned, but hey, it's a Yasuo clone. If it wasn't overtuned, it wouldn't be a Yasuo clone, right?
Yeah, so VG gonna take down the dragon here for themselves. They didn't get it initially after that top play, but they got so much bot lane control that they're very happy. 20 bucks name sitting at a nice 2-0 as well, but Manny himself is also feeling pretty nice. He has a Noon Quiver and a pickaxe in his inventory, so I feel like a bot fight probably goes in the favor of Dorado Gaming Epsilon right now, just because you have that Thresh over the Zillion, who clearly is not having that great of a time eating these hooks. As False is now... Oh, Frozen Inferno, the cocky movement just walks forward. I don't think he knew Fault was in there. Now, a fight coming out, but Dog Manny has red-white. Red-white don't fight, and that is exactly what's going on, as VG has to back up a bit, cannot eat all of that damage up. 20 bucks he was level 7 compared to Manny's level 5 there, so it's going to be an aggressive trade. Now, VG Izzo is down here for the dive. He has level 6. He has the Cataclysm. All sums up from the side of Dorado Gaming here, and that's the flash forward from Izzo, gets the Cataclysm. Red-white is still up, but I don't think it is enough. You do fight on red-white. That's a double kill in the bot lane for Virtue Gaming.
Really well played, execute that.
Oh, Kongi going aggressive on the Fallswinger, lands the ultimate, gets the dash forward now with so much damage coming out on the Fallswinger, misses one of the Qs, not enough damage coming through. Stand United came at the last second. I think that popped after the damage popped regardless, but one Q missed there from Kongi to miss lethal there.
These missed Qs are going to start adding up from Kongi. This is not 1 but 2 kills that have been whiffed now because he's missing these precise Qs. Maybe a little bit of pressure going into this game to start with, understanding that they are like the favorites to win. So maybe a little bit shaky hands. Hopefully we start to see him warm up more throughout the game.
Ooh, look at Falson's build.
Ooh, is that? No, surely not, right?
It has to be intentional. It's not a recommended item.
Ooh. So what would he go here? Shirelia's?
I honestly don't know. This is getting like transcendental for me.
Okay, so Bandle Glass Mirror. Let's see if Google can help me with what
it does go into. It goes to Moonstone. It goes to Shirelia's.
Shirelia's and Imperial Mandate are the only two.
Oh, Mandate. He has to be going Mandate.
Right? Because that's what I'm thinking. I'm not sure why you wouldn't go for the Everfrost. I guess because Yone is just going to throw away the CC anyway, so what's the point? Speaking of, Yone trapped in the baby cage, but probably just going to get away with that fine, can just wait it out safely. But yeah, I assume the Imperial Mandate, not a bad shout considering he is Predator, looking for the kind of like team play rather than that really thirsty solo kill hungry Veigar. So the Imperial Mandate definitely helps setting up his team. But Imperial Mandate just doesn't proc off of all damage, does it? I'm pretty sure it only... I could be mistaken, but I don't think it procs off of all forms of damage. It only procs off CC and slows, etc., etc. I'll have to double check this. Maybe I could be talking out of my rear. But I'm not sure about this Imperial Mandate pickup here for the Veigar. What's your opinion on this, Ginger?
False. Okay, not gonna find the play there. I'm not sure. I'm a big fan of avoiding AP items in general on Veigar. I think you go maybe 1 or 2 and then straight tank. That's what at least Veigar V2 has been preaching on Twitter, and I am a big fan of that man. But I don't really know what's going. Oh my, Linguini taking a nice trade on Terra. They're gonna drop the ultimate. It's gonna force Terra to actually have to flash away. Linguini could look for the flash body slam up there. I'm gonna pan back up there because I want to see if he goes for it. He does not. Terra's going to get out of his life at Flash Burn. But yeah, I mean, I'm not sure. I'm curious to see how it plays out. I think Vigar's champion is strong enough to get away with doing things like that, but he might be lacking on damage for a little bit, as there's the Flash Body Slam going to pick up the kill. A nice damage calculation from Linguini to pick up the solo kill as a little bit of payback from earlier.
You guys have solo bolos in NA, or is that just an EU thing? Because if that was a Gragas solo kill in the top lane, we call that a solo bolo to put some respect on the boss. Don't know if you know who that gentleman is. I'm sure you do, surely. You guys have that guy here, right?
Yeah, we have solo. The solo balls all came from EU. The boss is a very popular figure over here too. Don't worry, but that was all made by him, and no one has copied him. That is still his trademarked name here.
Okay, thank goodness. But yeah, going back to this Imperial Mandate. So I was right. Okay, actually, maybe let's pause that and look at this tower dive, perhaps.
Yeah, Isnator going to go over the wall now, right onto Falson as the game decides to pause for some reason. Now we're back into the fight, and the Rocky came out, is going to miss, but the Zillion ulti is going to make him survive. The 20 bucks name is tanking the tower, able to survive from the Stand United, came out the last second there from Terra, might have saved 20 bucks name's life, but in the meantime, Dorado Gaming trading over that mid tower, going to get a bunch of gold onto that Yone and that Gwen, so a nice pickup of gold to answer, whereas VG is going to push them down themselves, and 20 bucks name should get a significant amount of gold themselves. But going for the second tower here in the mid lane for Dorado Gaming, I think they're going to be able to get this.
Yeah, that's a really, really good punish here coming out from Doge. I'm quite impressed being able to punish this Jinx that play bot lane, this tower dive. Not feeling too good for Felix, but he does have this Gale Force. The farm leading advantage he had now gone. Jinx is completely caught up to him. It's getting kind of hard for Aphelios to play the game. Gonna have to basically just sit and farm passively, but he's not. If J4 is cocky here, he stops him, but unfortunately, not gonna happen. That Dragon going to be taken for the side of Doge. So even when VGG is looking to take an inch, Doge responds by going for the whole mile, right? Taking those 2 towers mid, getting that Drake. I'd say you take that for a couple of kills bot lane. No, Ginger?
Yeah, I mean, it's good by VG to get these dives, but these dives aren't perfectly prepped. You don't have the mid-prio, so Falson just loses so much. As I speak about Falson, he is running into a 1v4 situation. I don't think he was expecting the entire team to be there. Bit of an unfortunate scenario, and well played by Dorado to really start taking over control of the map and looking for these proactive picks. And there's the Shirelias, by the way, completed.
Shirelias. Okay, I like this. So we're going funny little goblin move speed build coming out from the side of Veigar here. And this is actually pretty good because if we see the double Shirelias coming down, especially if that comes through on the Zillion, you have so much team fight engage potential here. I like the whole breaker being built on the Shen here, giving you that split push pressure. Not too shocking to see the turbo chem tank coming onto the Gragas. Speaking of this tanky boy trade coming out top lane, the chem tank is popped.
We're getting a bit of a duel here as Isnator is up here to make something happen. Linguini has no flash, so he's just going to take a lot of damage. Rocket came out from bot side as well to add in some extra little damage, get the assist onto 20 bucks name, and that is going to be a nice shutdown going over to Virtue Gaming Grit.
Why was Linguini skirting around that killed that guy?
Kongi, this is not where you want to be. Isnator's right behind you, waiting for you to jump back. Not going to be able to finish off anyone with his return damage, unfortunately. Did bring in Frozen Inferno quite low, but the champion's not quite broken enough just yet, so another pickup from Virtue Gaming Grit.
A couple of questionable decisions there from Doge. I understand Linguini probably trying to wrap around the other side of Terra to try and get that slowdown, I presume, from the Turbo Chem Tank, but honestly probably could have executed him there and got out with that damage that he had before Jarvan shows up. The TP coming down a little bit late from the side of Kongi.
Oh, aggression coming in here from Dorado Gaming, looking on a 20 bucks name. They flash forward. The ultimate's going to come out onto the Zillion, so he is able to survive. Knockup going to come out onto Hybrid Carry. He's not able to finish up 20 bucks name just yet, but there is the Moonlight Vigil coming out from Mani, getting so much damage. 200 years in full effect. Then he has the purple cone immediately to switch to get the roots through. False is playing at a safe distance to keep Mani alive, to enable him to move forward. Mani playing very respectfully here. The burst damage meter isn't there. Going to move up now, looking for is going to land. The taunt still lands, even though the flame came out, and Mani just dies to all of that insane burst damage. It was a good try by False to try to flay Terra off, but just barely missed, and VG is able to bring back that play.
Wait, did Izzo place a red ward on the position that he was flag and dragging into so that Mani would attack the red ward instead of him? That is so odd, it's genius.
It was either that or for the lantern.
Ah, perhaps, actually. I like that, because it did forcing Mani to attack that ward. Very smart, being able to get him out of the way. Good stuff on the side of VGG. The gold currently basically even here. Very, very minor gold lead to the side of Doge, but both teams capitalizing off of each other's mistakes pretty well. Being able to analyze slip-ups, etc., etc. We want to see more how each team plays this macro.
Oh, Terra fails the taunt over the wall. He's going to get run down by Manny here, and there is the Hex Slash from False. Going to miss the hook, didn't walk up to the flay. Falson is actually here. They might be able to turn something on here. False now caught in between the cage. It is a bit awkward saying False and Falson, but there is the taunt from Terra, and a good play from Dorado turns into disaster as that Predator Viger just rotates so fast.
That was unlucky for Terra to whiff the taunt dash into the wall.
And it was a bait.
Make it. Oh, yeah. Genius plan. Honestly, excellent execution. I can't say anything better than Terra being just an incredible top laner with a Giga Chad brain. So that is on me for not recognizing that as an analyst. So well done there, Terra. You're doing an excellent job. And honestly, to be fair, I feel like generally the side of
oh, there's the flash body slam in from Dog Greedy, but a great Gale Force gets 20 bucks name out of danger there. Huge reaction time, and that is massive. You got a flash without burning your own. I mean, we take those.
I mean, speaking of reaction times, I think like Yone ult came out a few seconds late there. The guy is still thinking that Jinx is in fact stood in that position and pops the Fate Sealed anyways.
Oh, Falson stepping forward a little bit too far, is immediately going to flash away. Did not want to mess with that, realized his mistake. So now you have no flash on Falson, and it looks like we're going to start preparing for this dragon up in 10 seconds. Both team have one dragon. There goes Weenie forward, but the cage is going to come out. A nice stun, and Dorado Gaming is so zoned out here. This is such a great choke for Virtue Gaming. Here comes the resets, and so much damage coming out. Gwen is immune, though, not taking any damage. Able to play front to back, but 20 bucks name is unleashed. Kongi is trying to play forward with these massive shields, but he is way too swishy. Virtue Gaming going to take out 3 members from Dorado and claim the dragon for themselves.
I really like how Virtue Gaming Grit is playing here. They are actually, the reason why they won that fight and the reason why they're overall winning these trades is because they respect the power of their opponent's team, and they respect in what situations they can and cannot be taking these trades. Well, I say that as if Jinx didn't get caught out mid earlier, but that team fight was a great example of, yeah, I'm not going to try and contest this because I know I won't be able to win this, but I am going to try and take these fights in which I know our team can collapse on them. Playing very smartly and trying not to overextend, whereas the side of Doge getting a little bit overzealous, then Greeny going in a bit too far, forcing out this team fight. Terra maybe pushing a bit beyond the breaking point there with how far he could get away. Same with Isonator, the shield coming through, not enough to stop Izzo from going down. But overall, really good team fight. I think we did see a pretty good amount of Shirelli's value. Interesting to see the Moonstone Renewer on the side of Zillion. Now, interesting part about Moonstone's passive. Obviously, it gives you increased healing and shield amp throughout the space of a team fight based on how many Moonlight Grace stacks you have. This does include the healing that Zillion gives with his ultimate. And this does also apply to the Rune Rejuvenation, which heals people more for their if they are below 35% health. So Zillion ult is essentially going to heal your team. It's back to full with this combo. I kind of like that. A little bit nasty, not caught. Generally, you see the Shirelli is picked on the Zillion for the turbo hyper move speed and the strong engage. But when you've already got that picked up on the Veigar, who maybe doesn't necessarily need crazy amounts of AP and maybe looks a bit more for util, when you get that Rabadons, it doesn't really matter too much about the raw AP that you have, as stated by Veigar on Twitter.
Terra going aggressive down on the Kongi. Kongi's going to go back forward himself. I don't think a kill is going to come out from either member here, but Terra is definitely getting the better of this trade. A lot of damage going to be traded back, though. So much damage from that Yone, even at the 1, 3, and 2 spot. But Isonar's going to get knocked back in. A nice play from Linguini, but the flag drag over the wall. Moonlight Vigil comes out, but is not going to land as Visionaire flashes away, but a huge flash shot in from Terra. Gonna go for the play. Kongi might be able to turn around, though. He turns around and gets the shutdown. A huge play by Kongi to turn around that fight. That is a fantastic champion, ladies and gentlemen. And well played to Kongi as the missile comes out. The Rocky 20 bucks team picks up the kill. I mean, at that point, sure, you get the goal in the 80 carry. We take those. Dorado Gaming gonna look around this Baron, decides better of it. And you talk. I can't.
I'd love to give... Okay, so another fight breaking down. The Vegas lands a stun. Gonna get landed
Frozen
away
Inferno gets hooked. Actually, is gonna get blown up instantly. Isn't able to pop the ultimate. And that is just that squishy Zillion looking a bit too aggressive. That's a scenario where that Shirelli would have helped him be able to move around a bit, get a little faster, and dodge these abilities. But now Linguini is stuck in there. False and drops the ultimate. It's not enough damage. Isn't looks for the flag and drag, but a nice flake from False prevents any engage coming through. Did not drop the Cataclysm. That's going to be Virtue Gaming back out.
Okay, so a lot just happened there. The Kongi taking that engage onto Terra. I like that flash taunt from Terra. Unfortunately, that is a Yone, so you are not going to... was that Richard intentional?
Yeah, was he running out of time? Timing out.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, no worries. So Kongi, well played on that outplay there. A little bit too close for comfort there, but I really like 20 bucks names prediction there with that Jinx ultimate. Lands it perfectly square, getting that gold, more gold onto that Jinx. Again, the gold is essentially even. It is actually even now. There is no gold difference essentially between the teams, and that is not hype. Okay, maybe a little bit more gold difference on the side of VGG right as I'm saying this. Never mind, it's immediately been called. There is actually no goal difference between these teams. And it's really interesting how even these teams are going against each other. I feel like this is an example and a sign of two very high caliber teams playing against each other, and this is the kind of stuff I love to see in these games.
Yeah, you know, no gold difference. I have to like Dorado here. I mean, I feel like Gwen, Yone, Aphelios, all at 2 items is so much scarier than just Veigar Jinx really as the main carry threats for Virtue Gaming. I do want to point out though, since you're talking about items, Collector on Aphelios here does make me a bit upset. You're mainly going to be hitting Shen and Jarvan, who are big stat sticks. Aphelios would be able to shred through those guys so much faster with an LDR here, and it is making me quite upset, but that is just me being a stickler for building correctly.
No, you're absolutely right.
Oh, but Kanye, look at the ultimate through. Remember, the interaction puts him through that cage. It doesn't actually stun him out. So, as I said, pre-game, Falsten just loses in these side lanes, and now Baron's immediately going to be started off of from Dorado Gaming. Virtue Gaming is aware of this, though. Linguini going aggressive on 20 bucks name, but he cannot take this solo. 20 bucks name going to eat the cask, and now Linguini is just tanking all of the damage as Gragas is due. Terra's over in the pit, getting vision for the Isonator. Going to look for Steel, hopping it now to 50-50. Who gets it? Hybrid carry gets it. Isonator flat, smited way too early, and now it's just going to be an absolute white for Dorado as Virtue Gaming's running away on their tails. A huge swing of the game in Dorado's favor.
Absolutely. Honestly, we were talking about this itemization and the overall picks here. The collector maybe not being what we want to see for the Aphelios, considering there are multiple armor picks on the side of J4 and Shen. But does it really matter when you're mechanically outplaying them like that, right? Like, when you're taking these team fights smarter than they are, it doesn't really matter at the end of the day what you're building, as long as you have some damage down. Maybe an engage here from side of BGG.
Terra's going to go for the taunt after the stun from Frozen Inferno. He's taking so much damage. False goes down to 1 HP. The stun is going to come out to Kongi, but great interaction means he can just E right out. Here comes the rocket, going to land onto False, take him down. The resets come through. Can 20 bucks name clean up anymore? Can VG find anything else? Kongi has the dash away if he wants it. He doesn't land the stun, so he is going to move away, but he goes forward instead like a Giga Chad. He is actually going to get stunned as he eases back through. That's how the interaction does work. If he eases through the cage, he will get stunned on his return. So Falsum learns from his mistake there and was able to get the stun out. Virtue Gaming, with a nice response on the overextension from Dorado, is going to reward them with a dragon, assuming that Linguini doesn't get a miracle steal out here.
Kongi could have absolutely got away there. I'm really not sure about the E play there. I'm not sure why he played so aggro. It was not the smartest play here. I feel like maybe it's just a little bit of overconfidence thinking that, yeah, I'm going to make this the highlight reel play. When in reality, you don't want to look for these highlight reel plays. You want to look for the smart plays that focus around your team here. Getting off and being able to reset or not reset necessarily, but secure some control of that Drake so that you can contest it alive with your team, especially when that Fate Seal is actually on cooldown, is actually off cooldown. So you do have this kind of wombo potential with your Gragas, with your Aphelios, etc., etc. So I feel like overconfidence is proving to be a bit of a flimsy shield on the side of Doge here. You can only get away with being the statistical favorites for so long when that comes back to bite you in the ass.
Yeah, I mean, big story for this game for VG is really $20 name. 11, 1, and 2 on this Jinx, the absolute hyper carry of the team. And he's positioning so well in every fight. We haven't really seen him get caught yet. And he is, we felt like this in, yesterday too. It was just protect Mr. President and hope he wins you the game. And that's exactly what VG is relying on here. But there are so many things to protect you from this. Gragas, Gwen, and Yone have so many ways to get onto $20 name. Linguini on the flank here, and he is so tanky. Only 2.5 items, but, this champion just has so much base defensive. Shirelli is coming out from False and going to look for the cage on to False. It is going to land, actually. This Thresh might go down instantly. There comes the ultimate out from False. Doesn't take him down, but the reset's coming out from $20 name. Gwen is in the top lane here. This is a great fight for Virtue Gaming. It looks like the 1-3-1 is coming out. This is where they need the force. Linguini flashes onto $20 name, gets the big damage out. There comes the rocket. Going to be enough to take down Linguini finally. Kagi's in this side lane, pushing down this tower. At the same time, Hybrid Carry is in the top lane. Terra is going to try to take the fight. Besides, Better Bit remembers PTSD from last time he did that. And Virtue Game is going to pick up 2 kills.
I really like the scrying orb there coming through on the side of Yone, being able to clear out that vision in the river, noticing that Izzo is missing from the rest of his team, and maybe they could look for a collapse play on him because he's so far forward, but having that blue trinket means that Izzo realizes he's going to be spotted out and is unable to make that. Yone is able to safely regroup with his team and help defend the space, maybe looking for a big
maybe looking at that. Flashes forward, gets the land on to $20 name, but he has the Zillion ultimate onto him along with Stand United. He is so tanky and basically impossible to kill as long as you don't kill Inferno first. So a nice response from VG there, not panicking too much. They immediately use Stain United and Zillion Ultimate. I apologize, I don't remember the name of that ability. And you get Kangi's Flash. Chrono Shift.
Oh, no. That is that the Chrono Break is the Echo one, right?
Chrono Break is what you do in LCS, man.
I
have no idea, but regardless, he, funny Zillion ulti, he makes it so he can't die. Kagi loses his Flash, and now Virtue Gaming feeling themselves in a pretty good spot with Soul spawning in 2 minutes.
Okay, so I just googled it quickly. I was right. It is Chrono Shift. So
Chrono
that
Shift. Got it.
That is going to be on a ridiculously low cooldown late game, by the way. If we expect to see the normal Zillion build path, and actually maybe not as low as it could be. Shirelli is obviously having that mythic passive of ability haste, but you're not going to have that same advantage with this Moonstone Manure pick here. But that ult is going to be on a very low cooldown in the late game. Play
Collapse coming out onto the top side here. Hook's gonna come down onto Frozen Inferno. He had the Chrono Shift up, but he was not able to use it. Big cast coming out onto $20 name. Who has no flash. He cannot get away. He's trying to trade back on Mani. Mani goes a little bit low. Terra gets a flash shot on Mani. He's able to take on himself enough damage. Izonator is now here, but where's the damage on VG? It's all Falsen now, and Gwen is immune. He cannot do any damage. Linguini taking up so much. The hook lands from False on to Falsen. Terra gets a nice taunt, but no, actually it is going to be one going down. Falsen slightly missed times the damage on the Hybrid Carry there, so he's able to survive. Kongi might look for the turn. He is not. And a huge fight coming out from the Dorado Gaming to pick up some kills from themselves and potentially this tower. As I said, that Falsen now gets caught himself. He disrespects the potential damage and engage coming out from Kongi there. And another great play from Dorado Gaming.
So you know how earlier I was saying about how VGG's biggest strength is how they respected the strength of their
Inferno.
enemy.
Inferno. No.
Okay, so
Sheesh.
Again, as I was saying, their biggest strength early game was how they respected the strength of the enemy team, and now it's silly. It's silly behavior. The tale as old as time. Frozen Inferno getting hit with the Thresh Q and immediately dying. It's unlucky that Jinx is able to get picked off then, because you really cannot afford this Zillion to die at the start of a team fight when you're hitting these late game stages of the game. Obviously, because Zillion facilitates this protect the president's playstyle, basically making Jinx unkillable unless he dies first. So he is going to be a primary target for Doge in these team fights. Zillion needs to afford to stop playing this far forward, stop moving with this vision, stop moving without his team. As we start up the Drake maybe soon.
Yeah, so here we go. Everybody converged down here. Level 16's hit. 20 bucks name does have his flash. TP coming out on a flank here is immediately going to get stunned up, though. Falson not able to do too much damage. Isn't it going to kite back, and Linguini's going down so low. Well, now a huge hook coming out onto Falson, though, but 20 bucks name picks up Linguini with the rocket. Now Kongi and Falson are in a really awkward spot. Kongi flashes in. The Resurrect is going to come out. Frozen Inferno has the flash away. Where is 20 bucks name? 20 bucks name is going down to Kongi. Standing Knight's coming through, but it's not enough. Hybrid carry is too strong. Now Isonator is here. TP's coming out on the back line. Where is all of Dorado Gaming? They're all in the bot lane for some reason. Manny is alive. Terra's going to get the taunt, going to get so much damage onto Manny, and that is False now popping off in the fight. Remember, the late game Viger does do a lot of damage as well, and that's a 5 for 1 coming out in Virtue Gaming's favor.
Okay, so we were talking about this Protect the President's playstyle, but I did mention in Champs Select it is good to have this alternative carry in the form of the Veigar here. I like seeing this Fimbulvinter vibe by the side of Veigar, giving him a little bit more tanky stats. As we were talking about earlier, Veigar doesn't necessarily need this raw AP, but the utility is incredibly strong for him, giving him the bonus mana to be able to take these casts. Look at that AP right now, 771 with that Rabadon's Death Cap, with his passive. He doesn't even have crazy AP items, and he's still going to be doing so much damage in these fights. It looked so good as well for the side of Doge here. I really expected big things from DOG, especially after locking down that Jinx. That Jinx absolutely exploded, and it didn't even matter that she got Zillion ulted because she ended up getting locked down again and immediately taken out. But I don't know where False and Money were. Why were they chilling down in the bot side? They weren't looking for a flank play. I'm not exactly sure what they were doing. I do wish we had these replays so we could actually understand what the logic was there. I feel like that team fight was way more winnable for the side of DOG if the team is actually grouped together and plays off of that contact pick. But unfortunately, it seems to end very sour for them and gives VG the advantage to start this Baron up with no vision control, by the way, on the side of DOG, having to walk into this blind.
Baron being started here now. Linguini's going to step in. Hyper Carry's here as well. Here comes the turn. Terra gets a nice taunt on the 2 Hyper Carry, but he is immune. Getting the ultimates off, going to do a lot of damage on Isonator, but the rocket comes out. Remember, this whole time, Kongi is splitting in the bot lane, so VG has to be quick about this. Dorado Gaming might step in back in for the contest. It is Linguini stepping up. Mani's in the mid lane. He does not look like he wants to take this. False looking for the Miracle Steal, maybe with the hook, is not going to land it. It looks like that is going to be Linguini getting pops. Recalls coming out as Kongi is still splitting into that bot lane. Is not going to get the inhibitor, only gets the tower. And now False is in the 1v1 with Izzo. I'm not going to lie, both of them don't do very much damage at this point in the game, but Isonator will do more damage. False is completely alone here. Frozen Inferno is here for the backup. False does not have any flash. Bombs miss. So it is a bit of a wet and noodle fight. We're going to see who gets this one, Frozen Inferno or the Isonator, is a big test. Last shield comes out, and that is Frozen Inferno taking the final kill. Some gold in his pocket. He'll take those.
Ginger, can you do me a favor and show me how much ability haste this Zillion has, please?
Thank you. Oh, does this show?
It should be the little arrow to the side, no?
104.
104.
That was 51% CDR.
Can we check the cooldown for that Zillion? Is that possible for me?
It should be. It is 44 seconds.
44 seconds is absolutely insane in these late game team fights, by the way. That is, if the team fights don't explode and like end instantly, if Zillion managed by some miracle of God to stay alive towards the end of the team fight, that you could be looking at 2 Zillion ults as soon as we hit level 16 on this Zillion. That is going to be the power of this hyper scaling support here. This is going to mean that Jinx is even more of a potent threat, and then you have to start worrying about Veigar as well. That is the power of VG's draft. The triple Mountain Drake making them also incredibly unkillable. Look at Terry, he's taking absolutely no damage. It's so beautiful, and this is exactly what I expected to see from VG. Whilst we might talk about how there are some options here, maybe getting the hook doesn't end up making anything happen, whilst we do have some carry options here on the side of DOG. Here
comes Linguini on the flank, gonna look for the slash trail. He does get it, but 20 bucks name uses the Gale Force again to get out of the cast range shot. Isn't it? We're gonna get resurrected. Linguini wisely stopwatches Falson's ultimate, but he's still gonna go down. Reset now comes out for 20 bucks name. Hybrid carry on the flank here, not gonna find anything. Terra coming in with Stand United lands the taunt. Hybrid carry going so low, but he is immune. Now back in the backline, Manny and False going super low. Hybrid carry is 1v1 on to Terra, but 20 bucks name is absolutely untouched here. Kai's going to be able to fly backwards to safety. Falson's going to get the stun off onto Falson. False goes down from his nemesis, Falson. Manny now going down to 1 HP. It's an absolute slaughter for VG. Kongi's trying to 1v4. He's on the champion that could do it. If there was going to be a champion in the game that could do it, but he misses the knockup. Honestly, if he hit that knockup, it might have been the 1v4, but he is not going to do it, as Virtue Gaming Grit's going to take down game 1 of the series.
Really good starting momentum here for Virtue Gaming Group. Really impressed with how they've been playing that pretty much towards the end game. Looked a little bit shaky there at the start, but being able to bring it back was really, really important here for them. And I'm genuinely really impressed with how it was. Good job on the side of Izzo. I feel like Izzo is definitely the big playmaker there in terms of being able to get these early picks out for the side of VGG. Really good KP, managing to make these plays happen bot lane, those repeat dives over and over again, being able to funnel gold into Mr. President. But at the same time, I have to give some degree of credit to Falson. Falson basically was a one-man army, kept himself afloat basically that entire game, ended up scaling, making use of this crazy weird Vega itemization that you see nowadays, and I like it. Really, really interesting buy with the Shirelius. Obviously wasn't convinced at first, ended up actually being pretty big, and on reflection, maybe something I'll try in my solo queue games. Thank you very much for the idea, Falson. Are we getting into another draft here, Ginger?
No, they're not starting just yet, so me and you can take a quick break and catch our breath after a fantastic game 1 from VG Grit. So speaking of that, we will head over to a quick break while I catch my breath personally. But a great game 1 over to VG Grit. 1-0 up in the series. Dorado Gaming Epsilon going to look to strike back while VG Grit looks to take out the series. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back in a few minutes with game 2 of the night. Virtue Gaming Grit versus Dorado Gaming Epsilon.
Can we bring to fall the giants? 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 We are the ones to ignite the darkened skies, the champions of the world that we defy. A solar ray of the few who rise up high, and we all fight at the last light.
Alrighty, welcome back everyone into game 2 of the night. Virtue Gaming Grit versus Dorado Gaming Epsilon. Quick update here is Dorado Gaming did get their main ADC back, so Dorado Gaming is going to be able to put some bans in As you can see on the screen, bans are coming out now as they jumped right into draft when I wasn't looking. Thank you very much. But regardless, bans coming out. We are back here for game 2, and we are ready to go. Mac, I hope you're ready to go at least.
Absolutely. I am not too shocked to see this Veigar ban coming out from the side of Dorado. The Jinx ban too. I feel like these bans probably would have come through in game 1, to be honest, understanding the value of these picks for VGG. And seeing them banned out here from Dorado is nothing too crazy. This does remove 2 of the bigger win conditions from VGG, as they have utilized this in multiple games up until this point, but I have no doubt that VGG will find an answer. Instantly going to take that J4 away, maybe? Yeah, giving them that early oppression, obviously a favorite of Izzo, so we like to see that. I want to see what alternate carry sources that they have from the side of the ADC and mid lane, maybe seeing a Victor in the mid lane, which I'm pretty sure I've seen the mid laner Falson play before. He has played the Ahri, but that has been banned out. Is that Gwen going to be picked up for the side of Dorado again? We can assume that will be put in the jungle, but it is a flex pick. We could expect to see it in that top lane as well, maybe as an answer to something like the Shen. Sivir, okay. Not sure when was the last time you saw a Sivir played, Ginger?
CLG beat C9 with Sivir.
Wait, what? Hold on, I need to keep on. I need to keep up with esports, bro.
That was the game that LS got fired on that we were casting. When we were casting.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, no, did he not? I swear he didn't draft for that game though, right?
No, he didn't. It was Waldo.
Yeah, I was gonna say, well, can't believe LS got fired for someone drafting Sivir. That's not his fault. Anyways, that's gonna be an Ezreal coming through for the side of Dorado. Pretty safe lane pick. I don't know what to make of this yet because we don't have the lane for VGG, so we'll have to see how that plays on. It's pretty standard so far. They're kind of just picking up what they can from last game's comp, which I'm not sure how they'll be able to be converting that into a lead. I would not be too shocked to see the Zillion come out here too, but then that just leaves all your carries open to get banned away by Dorado or snatched up. But what do you expect to see here? Do you know of any picks that the mid lane and bot lane like for Virtue Gaming Grit? Also, that is a Rakan snapped up for Virtue Gaming Grit, which I kind of like. Not seeing a Rakan in this series so far, so...
Yeah, I mean, I'm expecting Snowfall to be on some sort of hyper carry. He seems to always be the carry for Virtue Gaming Grit. I think with this Jarvan and Shen and Rakan lineup already, like, you could expect some sort of weak side carry. Whether it might be maybe the Aphelios. I think if they wait long enough in the draft, he could maybe pull out the Vayne. I think would be super interesting and still a very strong pick if given the right situation. You know, I think both these drafts are definitely moving more into the comfort zone and what both teams want to play than, again, strictly meta. You know, something that's really jumping out to me is the 3 jungle bans on the side from Virtue Gaming Grit as well. So they're clearly comfortable giving Gwen over as the flex into the jungle. Or top. Personally, I think it's fine to do it on blue side. I think on red side, it's really, really rough to give someone Gwen because you have that R5 pick where you could just blind a safe control mid R4, right? They could just take Victor, and then you have no idea where that Gwen's going jungle and top. Gwen beats Jarvan in the jungle already, so you need to have a really good top answer that Gwen can't beat. You know, the one advantage Jarvan has is that Jarvan can spam gank and Gwen really can't, but in a straight 1v1, Gwen will just, after one item, just absolutely demolish Jarvan.
Yeah, I like seeing this Ezreal Rel picked up for the side of Dorado Gaming Epsilon. This is not the first time I've seen this little combo together. I'm not sure why it works so well, and yet here we are. Why do you think this combo is particularly decent here, Ginger? Have you seen this picked up before? Do you have any experience seeing this? And do you see why the Rel would be played into this team whatsoever?
I don't know. They're both yellow.
Oh my god, so true. Both blonde.
The real answer is that Rel Q breaks shield, so it can break Shen ulti.
Ah, that is true. I do actually like that Rel pick into this heavy shielding. Not quite sure about the Ezreal. I've seen Rel go with some really hyper aggro laners in the early. Maybe Ezreal can. Ooh, I like that Hecarim pick.
So we're seeing Gwen top this game, yeah.
Gwen top, yeah. That's good. Dorado Gaming can have Gwen jungle and top lane. Both their jungle and top are proficient enough at Gwen to make this work. So it's kind of a general standard flex pick for all parties involved. Orianna coming out from the mid lane. I really, really like Orianna here with this Rakan engage, with this Jarvan engage. Obviously that Cataclysm command.
We need a hyper carry here. This is such a good Vayne game. This has to be Vayne.
If it's Vayne, I'm gonna eat my shorts. I'm gonna eat them. I'm gonna eat them live on stream. I'm not gonna do that. But maybe we can see something like the Vayne. God forbid we see like a Zeri or something.
Zeri's fine here too. Like you just need some. You need all. You have no damage in your team. You need it to be doing all the damage, and Jinx is gone. So it's Vayne, Aphelios.
The Zeri.
Yeah, Zeri's an option if you're confident on it. Let's go.
I really like this Vayne pick here in particular into this rel.
Wait, are you gonna eat your shorts or what? Like on stream?
I'm wearing pajama bottoms. I can't eat my shorts, brother. What can I say?
That's kind of a scam. That's a bit of a scam.
I scam for the content. It's fine. Anyways, I really like this Vayne pick into this rel as well. That crash down is going to have no effectiveness when that E hits you on that Vayne. Being able to knock you off your entire engage is now ruined. Vayne is going to be able to go crazy into this team as well. I really want to see how this Protect the President playstyle works with something maybe a little bit more like raw mechanical outplay. Obviously Jinx, I'm not gonna say Jinx is easier. Well, no, I'm not gonna say Jinx is easy to play. Well, it's not particularly hard either, but that's not the point. Obviously the importance of skill, getting these like resets down in these team fights, being able to keep snowballing, understanding where these picks come from. But Vayne is hard. Vayne struggles in the early quite a bit, especially into a pick like Ezreal, I think, especially when you have this really strong range advantage. Maybe not something as oppressive as a Caitlyn that we're expecting to see, but I'm not eating my PJ Bottoms, people in the caster channel. I'm not eating them. How dare you? Stop harassing me. I'm trying to explain why Vayne's kind of crazy. Maybe I'll eat my words, but I'm not eating my pajamas.
Yeah, well, I mean, you're not eating your pajamas, but there's a good chance that Virtue Gaming might, if they don't play this composition properly. The same problem is going to come in from game one, that they have a really bad answer to the 1-3-1. Orianna is never going to be able to match the Akali. Shen is going to have a much harder time matching the Gwen than he did the Yone or the Gragas. Gwen, is a very good tank shredder, and Shen is a tank. Same thing could be said reverse. Shen might be fine against Akali, but Orianna is not going to be fine against Gwen. Virtue Gaming is very similar S comp, where they just want to protect the president. The one weird thing that really stands out to me is the Rakan pick. Generally, when you're picking a Rakan, you want to play weak side bot and have that Rakan move around the map and play strong mid top. But you don't really have a strong top lane to play for. And, mid Orianna is going to be playing very safe against Akali. Akali might be a bit exposed, but, Shroud is a fun ability. So the Rakan pick is a bit of a head scratcher for me. I mean, for Dorado Gaming, it just seems like complete comfort with the Ezreal Rel, and everything else seems a bit standard. The Akali pick is definitely a bit spicy.
I think I would have preferred something like the Janna or a Lulu here for the side of Vayne. Maybe a bit more on the Janna, being able to keep that Vayne safe against these strong engages in this early game. Maybe a bit more of a roaming support. Well, you wouldn't need to really roam too much if you're trying to focus on keeping this Vayne safe, not really looking for any crazy advantages elsewhere, considering Orianna is playing safe. But Janna will keep that Vayne safe from these strong collapse engages, this Hecarim ult coming down, this Rel crash down, the Magnus Storm, etc, the Akali diving onto the Vayne. I would have actually really liked to see a Janna pick here, and I think it would have been quite a bit more effective than the Rakan. But I could be mistaken. I do kind of like the Rakan Orianna combo. It's not bad at all. But when you've got a champion like Vayne and that's your main win con, I'm not sure on the Rakan pick here. Vayne kind of self-sustains her own engage, and you don't really need much more than the J for Orianna, no?
Yeah, I mean, listen, I agree. The team fight is kind of disgusting. It's the same problem as in game one. Can you get out of laning phase? And, the Jarvan did a very good job of just spam ganking, whereas Gwen couldn't for Dorado Gaming Epsilon. But now, Dorado Gaming Epsilon has the Hecarim to match these early game ganks from the J4. So now it's really going to be, can the Isonator outplay the side of Dorado Gaming Epsilon's jungler? They spent 3 bans on hybrid carry on the jungler here. So VG is very aware that the carry comes from the jungle position from Dorado Gaming Epsilon. So I'm really excited to see hybrid carry on this more of an early game carry champion to match Isonator's playstyle and really put grit to the test.
Absolutely. I'm really keen to see how this game plays out. I'm sure you are too, Ginger. Looking to get into this game started soon. I assume that'll be in a few minutes, so...
Yeah, I'll lead out. We are going to have to wait for a few minutes on a spectator delay, so we are going to take a quick break while we wait for game 2. I'm sure the guys in game right now are very nervous. hoping to get a 2-0 for Virtue Gaming. Great, but Dorado Game, Epsilon looking to bounce back, maybe bring it to a game 3 like yesterday. Always in the mood for another banger, but we will see. Don't go anywhere. Me and the Mac will be right back. And welcome back, everybody, into game 2 of the night. I am number 2 Ginger with the Mac once again for probably the 5th time I've said that in the past 24 hours. We are here, game 2, ready to go, looking for some action, looking for these teams to be exciting and for us to not be rolled overboard in the early game. Mac, not eating shorts. What's going on, man?
Listen, these pajamas are really expensive. I'll eat some like other pajamas on stream for you guys. I'll do it next cast or something, but not these ones. Too nice. But yeah, so we're seeing a general 5-point defense. Nothing too crazy. Vayne, no way you predicted that, right? That's no way you called it. No way they lock it in here as well. I'm really keen to see how this goes. Obviously, if it hits late, it's going to be an absolute slogfest in this late game team fight. I feel like VG Grid is a crazy strong team fight late. In fact, both teams are just gonna. It's gonna be wild. It's gonna be crazy, and I'm so down for it. I don't know how you're feeling about this, Ginger.
Yeah, there's no way I call a Vayne pick and then $20 name ints his ass off. That'd be fantastic. But yeah, I mean, both teams really do look like they're playing for late. Like, both teams have kind of 3 scaling lanes, and then they do both have early game junglers, right? So there's a good chance that like one jungler just outplays the other, and some lane snowballs into oblivion. There's also a good chance that both teams just do literally nothing, and we sit here for 20 minutes sitting on our hands. I'm hoping for the former, just so we have a little excitement in our lives. But
Absolutely.
yeah, we'll have to see.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll have to see how that turns out. Cannot see too much, unfortunately, as your stream is not quite set up for me here, Ginger. So, just thought I'd quickly point that out.
You can always look on the virtual camera as well if the live isn't lurking, but.
It's so crunchy.
He's going for a flash forward on the Kongi, but he missed the knockup, and Kongi didn't have flash, so he was able to walk that one out. That was a guaranteed kill if Izzo was able to get the knockup there. Unlucky.
Yeah, that is honestly a really nice try. If that Flag and Drag is able to catch that Akali, there is obviously no flash. I like that ballsy play, looking for something a little bit more proactive. So kind of nice to see that coming down from Izzo. Obviously, as I said before, I feel like he was the MVP for last game. So maybe he's going to be looking to make some of these early plays happen this time.
You know, that's the second game in a row he's done that too. First game we didn't see it on camera, but he did burn flash, I believe, at level 2, and that's how he was able to get that early kill. So, you know, Kongi not able to actually adapt to these constant level 2 ganks. If he, you know, maybe a pixel over to the left there, he would have got knocked up and died. It would have been massive for Virtue Gaming. So, maybe a pressure point for VG to push on. But I'm going to pan over the menu manually here. It looks like we have an invade coming out from Hybrid Carry into the top side of Izzo's jungle.
I kind of like that, kind of punishing the J4 understanding where he is, understanding that, oh yeah, surely he can't have done all of this stuff. He's gone straight from this buff into the gank, but J4 is going to show up bot side, maybe looking for something. If he's realized he has been invaded, he could look for something on the side of Hecarim here, but unfortunately that bot side jungle has been completely cleared out. Hecarim may be looking to scoop up as many resources as possible to hit a kind of item spike for him, trying to be as oppressive as possible. I like this Hecarim pick here. It's going to give you a lot of pressure in tower dive when you hit that 6. Obviously, it gives you a lot of pressure for ganks beforehand with that E. Really nice engage tool, but a lot more reliable when you become unstoppable with that onslaught at level 6. I want to see it happen. I'd say it's a little bit stronger. Oh, maybe a trade coming down from the top side. Gwen taking Shen very, very low, but not going to be enough.
Yeah, Linguini is pushing in the pain on Terra early. Terra feeling the pressure. Already down over 10 CS here in this lane. Linguini doing a nice job, but we're at the point where Terra has D-Shield, Linguini has no pots, so the region's actually going to be in Terra's favor. Isnder's up here. Linguini is going to get flash taunted on. There's the knockup. No flash on Linguini means first blood for Terra. A nice punish from the Isonator there.
Good stuff, and that is what I love to see. This Gwen is chosen to bully this Shen early in this lane, managing to kind of almost bait it out in a way, or the crash that coming down from Rel, and that's exactly what I'm talking about. That's why that Vayne pick is so good into that Rel. You completely negate Rel's primary engage tool, because unfortunately she is not unstoppable during that period of time, so it just becomes so much harder for her to find these avenues of engagement. It might be easier for her to look for the mount up flips rather than the crash down CCs. Or maybe you'll have to look for something a little bit more creative in terms of engagement, maybe forcing Ezreal to E in there at point blank and get that stun, combo that in. But it's just hard for False to look for an avenue of engage here. And I kind of really like that Vayne pick, understanding what Rel's weaknesses are here.
Yeah, looking pretty good so far from the side of Virtue Gaming. Isonator the jungle is being a bit out-tempoed on the farm as expected. Hecarim clears so well. So there is, even though First Blood came out for Virtue Gaming, the gold is nearly even. But a big farm lead in the middle as well for Falson, doing very well in this lane, showing that he's a very, very solid control mage player. But Akali is usually very comfortable, falling a bit fine, but excuse me, I am tripping on my words. Falling a bit behind in farm. Once she hits that 6, that is going to be the dangerous spike, but Mountain Dragon is the first dragon of the game. we'll see if either jungler decides to contest it early.
Yeah, I really don't like the Qs on this Ezreal skin. I keep thinking there's a Zoe in this game. It looks like a sleepy trouble bubble.
Oh,
Man.
Gank's coming out mid here, though. Falson is going to get jumped on from Hybrid Carry. No flash came out. It's going to come out a bit late. Shockwave comes out to make sure he's able to get out. Kongi goes forward, but the Stand United makes sure Falson lives at 1 HP from that Ignite tick. A nice save from Terra there, possibly saving the day for Falson.
Lot of really good restraint coming there from Falson, holding that command Shockwave until they're both in that perfect position, rather than trying to burn it early to stop that Hecarim jumping onto him. Very, very good discipline. I like that. I like seeing that in a play. I feel like there's a lot more pressure to be had when you hold that move for as long as you can, rather than using it and burning it instantly. It's why these hook champions or like hold these moves for as long as possible to keep applying this pressure. And the same applies when you're trying to escape. Holding these flashes, holding all this stuff forces the enemy team to try and play their hand, use all of their resources, because they're worried that, oh, this resource is still on the table, he can burn all of these. And you saw that coming out. The Ghost was burned, the Ignite was burned from the side of Dorado Gaming Epsilon, and Falson did a really good job baiting that out. Really good ult there from Terra, saving it for the last second to burn that Stand Unite only when completely necessary. But that is a Drake picked up on the side of VG Grit purely because Falson was able to survive that gank and keep that mid pressure going, forcing Hecarim to start that back. I really like that. Good stuff from VG Grit in this early game.
Yeah, I mean, big shout out to Terra. Both games, you know, kind of underrated, popping in, playing weak side, playing for the Stand Uniteds, showing up really nicely on the Shen. He's had a few blunders in the side lanes, but he's been able to show up where it counts with these Stand Uniteds. You know, one of these kills, if they go the other way, could spell doom for VG. So always to see that your top laner is able to pick up Shen and play for your hyper carry EDC. I mean, it's proven that Virtue Gaming's identity at this point really is just playing for $20 name to hard carry the team, and he is very much proving that he can do that very, very well. So we'll have to see if they can pull that out this game as well, as it looks like bot lane might get collapsed on. Kongi thinks better of it, is not going to roam down, and I think both teams are a bit happy to slow it down and scale, as Linguini's actually going aggressive here. Pops the Ghost, gets R1, R2, R3. That's so much damage popping onto Terra, and that's the power of the Gwen counter pick. A solo kill for Linguini as the top lane.
Just burn that Ghost. I think a little unnecessary. The Ghost did not necessarily need to come down, was already in a good spot, slowed down there with that needlework, so maybe a waste on the skill spells. I think we do see Dorado preemptively burning a lot of these summoners in order to try and secure these kills, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, but when it doesn't pan out like that play we saw mid lane, it can maybe stack up, and it could be detrimental when it starts hitting this late game where the summoners start counting even more as the death timers get longer and longer.
Yeah, trade coming out in the bot lane. Frozen Fro is going to go aggressive. The ground and pound's going to come out $20 name, but a huge damage output from a Huskly Templar there on the True Shot Barrage. Brings $20 name Frozen Inferno so low, so fast. I don't think anyone was expecting that big chunk, and that's going to cause the disengage from Virtue Gaming's bot lane as the controller goes over to Dorado.
Really high damage output there from the Ezreal. Did not expect him to be able to chunk them that hard. Frozen Inferno obviously does not have his ultimate ready. Speaking of, just gets it, doesn't realize he's sitting on this ward and this pressure, so he's trying and play as if they don't know that he's hit level 6, but unfortunately because of that ward placement, that deep ward coming down from False, he will be spotted out, and they will understand that they cannot play as aggro here against this Rakan. Now he has been able to hit this spike. Speaking of spikes, Vayne's hit level 6. What do you think about that, Ginger? Let's explain why that puts $20 name in such a better spot here.
It makes him stronger, dude. It gives him access to his ultimate.
Hell yeah. Game Knowledge 101, ladies and gentlemen. You see, only the best casting here on the VG Esports channel. But yeah, I really want to see some crazy outplays now. $20 name has this potential. You saw that he's got the great reaction times into this pressure applied by the Rel. I want to see some crazy outplays going on now that we see this stuff coming up. Jarvan waiting over the wall as Ezreal just cannot help shoving out this wave, but I think they know the jig is up. J4 may have been spotted by that deep red ward located in the blue side bot jungle.
Yeah, I feel like Izzo should really just show and help VG get this wave shoved out and crash, so $20 name can get a reset. He's in a really awkward situation. The only way out of it is actually getting back to base, but he's never going to get a good recall if the wave is never fixed by Izzinator. So I think it's a really big misplay by Izzinator just not to show and just like hover, whereas nothing's ever going to happen. Now, a dive might be coming up on top lane. Rift Tail is going to be dropped by Hybrid Courier. Needlework is coming out by Linguini. First one is pop. Second one hasn't come back yet, but there's the taunt. It's going to whiff from Terra. Going to flash away now. Going to bring the dagger back. Is not going to be able to do it in time, though, as the fear came out from Hybrid Carry, and that is Linguini and Hybrid Carry taking down Terra in the top lane, along with a bunch of damage on his tower.
I like that a lot. As much gold going onto this Gwen as possible, trying to snowball her as this kind of incredibly strong side lane pressure. Getting this first tier 1 turret down means that every single ounce of split pushing that she does from this point onwards is going to make a very hard pressure play coming down there from Falson, and that is Akali murking Orianna as Ginger tries to sort out some stream stuff for me. Unfortunately, is unable to catch that. But you viewers at home were able to see that play come down really well mechanically done from Kongi there, being able to execute that Orianna with swiftness.
Yeah. Apologies, Mr. My mic just cut out too. Hold on.
There is a dive coming down to the bot lane. Vayne able to condemn Hecarim away, looking for the gank coming down. The Stand United coming down from Shen, but it doesn't matter. That is a 4-man gank coming down. Crash down coming down onto Rel. Magnet Storm drop. That is going to be Vayne coming down. They're still tanking the tower. Rakan being able to drop the quickness. That is a 4-man knockup from the Rakan W coming down. And the 4-man Cataclysm. Oh, I'm so sorry you're missing all this, Ginger, but it doesn't have anything coming from it. And the Shockwave coming down. Why is this all happening in the worst, most inopportune time? Orianna is able to take down the Hecarim. That is a double kill coming down into the Orianna. What an insane fight happening. My goodness, that is a pretty good trade.
I'm here. I'm sorry. I reconnected halfway through. My mic decided to poop out, and that is also where the audio is coming from. But once that fight started broke out, everything came back, and thank you for picking up the play-by-play slack for me failing on my audio setup end. But anyway, huge fight coming out for VG there. They're going to take out this Dragon. Terra is going to miss the taunt there. Dragon coming down. False is a little bit up here, a little bit too aggressive. Falston might look for the slow. It's going to land, but not go for the kill. And, I mean, what a play by VG there to stop any sort of dive coming through, able to protect the carry. And now False is in a really awkward spot here over the wall. Falston just going to absolutely obliterate False with a command dissonance. And now Linguini is on the flank here, has the immune, but Terra is able to get the taunt, and that is the knockup coming in as well. Linguini, you're strong, but I don't know if you're that strong, but he's taking a 1v4. Gets so much extra damage out from his last needlework.
20 bucks name just getting locked down there by that Hecarim. It's just really smart, trying to isolate these fights, taking out 20 bucks name, really, really good for the side here of DOG, but oh, it was such a well-executed anti-dive there from the side of VGG. It's unlucky.
Oh, Kongi gets taunted up there. Isonator's gonna look for the knockup, but the ultimate comes out from Kongi. He's gonna be able to finish him off. Isonator is he gonna be able to get out too with the R2. He's looking for the play. He gets out of 1v3, goes in the favor of Kongi.
I think he could have actually been able to get another one there and make it out. Maybe a little bit cocky. Obviously has that shutdown, not willing to give that up. But I genuinely think he could have burst down that Rakan there if he'd committed with that R2. What are your thoughts on that, Ginger?
I mean, I think that's just cocky at that point. You can go for it, maybe in solo queue, but in competitive, you definitely take that kill and get out. But, I mean, insane play from Kongi. I think Kongi is really showing up this game on a hyper carry. And, you know, as we were talking about pregame, having this early game jungler is really making all the difference. It feels like Dorado is able to make so many more plays that they weren't able to last game.
Absolutely. It's being able to keep up with this huge play that Izzo's been having and this huge presence he was having in the last game. Hybrid carry is definitely appreciating having that engage potential more. You saw that coming down from that attempted gank bot lane earlier, being able to zone off this Vayne with the unstoppable onslaught. Even though this Vayne is picked to be this kind of mechanically outplaying hyper carry, more so than the Jinx, having a bit more autonomy than the Jinx as well. The Jinx a little bit team dependent here. It's unfortunate when you are at this stage in the game and that horse is just charging you down. There's not much you can do about that. Honestly, it's just a waiting game on the side of VGG here.
Yeah, 20 bucks name gonna try to get this red buff for himself. Husky Templar wisely not hitting it until 20 bucks name is backed off, so that last proc of Silver Bolts won't get it. Small micro play there from Husky Templar. That doesn't look like much, but it can be very appreciated from our caster point of view. But the mid push coming down from Dorado, gonna run right into Isonator, and looks like they're gonna rotate up maybe for this Rift Herald.
X-Flash failing to go over the wall. Maybe if it gone over the wall, Rel can get a bit more of an aggro.
Oh, there
play
comes the
that
engage from Frozen forward. Flashes forward to the shockwave on top. So much CC, so much layered damage. Hybrid carries now in the backline on False, but he's already 1 HP. Linguini's trading back. He is immune. Keep it in mind. 20 bucks name now on to False, doing what he can. He's still scaling on this Vayne. He's not very strong yet. Doesn't have an item. Terra now 1v3 in the backline is able to pick up on to False. Linguini's gonna go down finally to 20 bucks name. The dash is not able to survive him. Kongi is the last remaining member, goes back in and gets blown up. Another kill over to 20 bucks name, and that's a clean ace coming out from Virtue Gaming.
Frozen Inferno and Izzo absolutely putting the work in these team fights. Their wombos have been absolutely crazy. The quickening cataclysm, being able to lock people up and lock people down. The 4-man knockups from these Rakan Ws, the grand entrance, really, really well played here. And it's just this coordination in these fights that is getting VGG these wins. And I really want to see more of this and how it explodes into this late game if we're seeing this much good play early.
Yeah, it's looking really, really good from Virtue Gaming right now. They're getting everyone into a really good spots. Oriana 3-1 and 6, 20 bucks name 3-2 and 2. Both of them have strong item spikes already. Dragon spawning in a minute here. Terra is a little bit extended. Hybrid Carry is going to go aggressive, but Terra has the red buff. He's going to do a lot of damage with Hybrid Carry here, while Hybrid Carry is trying to extend the fight for Kongi to come down. But Kongi has no ultimate. He's not going to be able to get very close into Terra without that. The rest of bot lane is collapsing for Dorado game, but Terra's just going to walk that one out.
Doesn't even have to burn the teleport on the Oriana here. He knows he's chilling. He's just walking away. What is Akali going to do without that ultimate? They understand exactly what their limits are, and I love to see that from Terra. He's walking with a little bit of swagger in his step, understanding that he is the issue, and I like it. Going to see a bit more split push coming down here. Maybe the collapse on the Kongi.
Kongi going aggressive on Frozen Inferno. The knockup's going to come out from Isonator, but there's the flash in from False. Lands on really no one. Stun comes out onto Isonator. Kongi is looking for the play. Still has the ultimate to pop. Husky Templars on top lane flank. Now Terra is here. Big two-man taunt onto Kongi and False. There comes the knockup and the wombo combo. So much chain CC, just impossible to live from. Who just flashed forward there? I think it was the Isonator. He was not able to find anything from that flash. We'll call that an ambitious flash, a cocky flash, as he is quite feeling himself. All of the CC from Virtue Gaming is paying off, as they will take the dragon as the reward.
Yeah, I really like that. That is the second fight in a row, though. False has whiffed this W ult combo. You generally want to dive
False
in.
are going aggressive now onto Linguini, and that's just going to be an absolute obliteration from False and onto Linguini.
Really underestimating how much damage this Oriana is doing. Obviously, Oriana a bit more of a supportive mage here, but still very much a carry in her own right. So we're seeing that carry potential demonstrated here from Falson. Really, really good play. And again, as I'm going back to what I was saying, False has kind of whiffed on these big chain CC combos that have been the big engage tools for, or it's basically the biggest engage tool outside of Hecarim Ultimate for the side of DOG. And when that whiffs, it opens up so many more avenues for the side of VGG, purely because Rel is now... Rel moves at a set move speed when she is unmounted. Basically leaves her a like, how did I forget this word? It's like a, what is it called when something's really easy to hit? You know this one, Ginger. Help me out here, buddy. I'm failing. My words are failing me.
I'm not sure either. Honestly, synonyms and like. I go to an engineering school, man. English is not my forte. I go to school to make sure I don't take English classes, so I'm the wrong person to ask.
Yeah, maybe the law student should understand English a little bit better than me, but here I am anyways. So unfortunately, I'm not going to remember the word. But the point is, sitting duck. Well, she's a sitting duck, essentially. That's the one.
Isn't it? We're going to find Linguini, though. Frozen Inferno is going to get the knockup, but all the CC has been burned. Linguini goes over the wall. Doesn't have any more dashes yet. Falson is here, and that is going to be so much damage once that Oriana is able to use command attack and dissonance, building up to that Shadow Flame. And it looks like VG is going to maybe try to collapse onto this mid lane now. Husky Templar is a bit overextended. Isner is going to get the stun on to Falson, but doesn't have the Cataclysm to follow up. Inferno's looking for it. Gets the Flash Charm for the support. I mean, good on you that you kill the support. I don't know if Frozen Inferno wanted to burn Flash for that, but VG is surely feeling themselves with a 5,000 gold lead.
Yeah, I'm really, really liking this. Izzo on Jarvan is absolutely lethal. I love seeing this guy on this pick. Look at the amount of mileage he's going in. Frozen Inferno on something a little bit more proactive than the Zillion we saw him on. I feel like the reason why he's stepping so far forward on the Zillion all the time...
Oh my god, Falson. Falson, this might be a little bit overzealous, my man. He has to flash away. You cannot one-shot Hybrid Carry. He has a lot of MR. Husky Temper standing united comes through. Is Falson able to live? He dodges the last Mystic shot. But now Terra's getting engaged on the bot lane since he was not able to get through with the stand united. Hybrid Carry is going forward. This might be the throw that Dorado Gaming needed to get back into this game. Okay, bad blast code, but also a shutdown in the top lane for Linguini onto Terra. So much gold trading over now to Dorado Gaming. Just as I was singing the praises of Virtue Gaming, they throw away their gold lead only to 2,000 now, and Baron being started up by Dorado.
That is that caster curse, but at the same time, that is also not understanding your limits. That is very unfortunate that Falson ends up being the undoing here of VGG. Terra forced to burn the ultimate to try and keep him alive, ends up losing what probably would have been a winning trade against Linguini with half his health bar gone right as the fight is starting. Izzo unfortunately
this Baron's an objective bounty too.
That's so big.
Wow.
Look, they've completely caught up.
And they got bot lane objective bounty too. Oh my god.
So they've now got a gold lead. They now have a 1k gold
they
lead over
swung
VG.
like 6,000 gold right there. Wow.
This is an absolute disaster. Oh my god.
Wow.
I hate to see it. I hate to see it for the side of VG. Oh. Oh no. It's just...
Oh, Linguini may be getting a bit caught. Isn't he going to drop the Cataclysm? I don't know if 20 bucks name is close enough. Here comes Frozen Inferno, though. Going to get the CC onto Linguini. Linguini is going to go down. They are going to give that one over to 20 bucks name. So a nice trade kill return as Dragon is spawning in a minute. This is Soul for Virtue Gaming, so I expect to see a big fight here.
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like that was a really, really smart pick there from Izzo, understanding that, yeah, this Gwen may have this Baron buff, it's still this weak Gwen at the end of the day, and I am this Jarvan. I have my team to back me up if necessary. Here I am, here I'm going, and being able to pick off that really strong split pushing threat means that there is overall less problems to deal with across the map, because the rest of the team isn't really going to be splitting for the side of Doge. So, really good pick there from Izzo, able to apply a little bit more pressure in these team fights, being able to reliably group with this team without needing to worry about that Gwen.
Here comes the engage out from Dorado. Hybrid Carry is going to wisely back off from that. TP did come out from Linguini there. Terra still in the top lane, has a stand united and TP available. Izzo getting a bit poked out here from Husky Templar. Husky Templar setting up here very cocky. We're really just waiting for the engage from Frozen Inferno to come out. He does not have flash, so it's going to be a bit hard for him to get in. False now looking for the engage. It's a huge knockup coming through from Dorado Gaming. It's a complete disaster for the side of Virtue Gaming. All of them are wiped off the face of this earth. Linguini is now taking on Terra all on his own. He's asking for his team to help him, and now they're coming, and that is a huge turn of events for Dorado Gaming, completely taking control of this game.
That is huge, and that is exactly what I wanted to see here from
Terra though taking out the 1v2 is going to take down Linguini. He's looking to fight Hybrid Carry as well. Hybrid Carry is saying, nope, I am out of there, my friend. Hullbreaker is a bit too OP for me, but nice pathing by Terra there. Actually, he's going to hit over the blast plant, gets a taunt onto Hybrid Carry as well. I don't know if he has the movement speed to chase him down. In the meantime, Dorado is pushing down the mid lane. Blue Smite, oh my god, the flash shot, Terra, you're nuts! He's still running away, though. The phase rush was procced, and there goes the E. Terra now looking over the wall. This is the absolute mastermind of a play, but Terra might get collapsed on now. It looks like that maybe Husky Templar and False are coming through. Terra is running away. I think he's going to get out in. Whew. All right, Terra.
Terra put in the work in. Terra put in the work in. This guy is sleeper MVP, but yeah, that is exactly what I wanted to see from False. I was literally just talking about how I feel in these team fights he is whiffing his primary engage combo. This W ult, dragging everyone in, even if the W goes wide, the ult pulling everyone into your knockup. That is exactly what we saw here. Really good, and if they did get away from that, Hybrid Carry was chasing them down with that onslaught. Really huge wombo, as you stated, and that's what I love to see, and that is why DOG is not completely counted out yet. This is why they've been able to catch up this lead. Oh, the Shirelli is being popped from Frozen Inferno, but nothing going to happen from it.
Yeah, it feels like whichever team goes first just wins the fight and gets their wombo off, right? Like I was saying, for Frozen Inferno needs to go so they can get the Shockwave, get the Cataclysm, but False just took it himself and did so much damage just instantly to come through. Like, you know, Frozen Inferno didn't have flash there, so he was hard to find an angle, but you have to find something there or else that's going to happen every single time.
Yeah, absolutely. It's really good play from the side of both teams, but you're right. It is the kind of first strike effect, being able to get this advantage, catching them by surprise, seeing who can get what CC. Because at the end of the day, if you CC their CC before you CC them, then they can't CC you, and you don't need to worry about the overall CC from them. That makes sense, right?
Yes, I agree.
You get it.
I'm a
Yeah,
I'm a
yes.
big Code Geass fan. Yes.
So yeah, maybe looking for a little bit of a play here, but nothing too crazy. Izzo just zoning Husky Templar off. The Baron buff has worn off, but that Baron is coming back up in a minute and a half. This is the objective that DOG is trying to get vision control of, having a nice little line of vision, as you can see here in the topside river, clearing out all of this topside jungle on the blue side, so that they can't even step in and contest, because for all you know, there could be an Akali waiting in this bush ready to kill you. The Ezreal just thrown down mid lane to just try and annoy and chunk them, but with that Vayne lifesteal coming out, it's not really going to mean too much. It's clearly just setting up for this Baron, and I like to see these really strong vision lines coming through. And I love it. Can we just focus really quickly on this topside ward, on the topside blue jungle? I love that ward. It covers all of these entrances to the jungle, no matter where you're coming
This
from.
ward?
It's covering, yeah, it's covering every angle of entrance here. I love this ward so
Got a good ward
much.
skin here as well. Got the little eyeball.
Hell yeah, I love the Dragon Slayer ward, but that is such a useful ward when going up against this team who is going to be passing through their own jungle, has to be forced to pass through there. I feel like if you're going to place that ward there, they should have maybe put a ward closer to that small choke point, just coming up on the bottom side of where the Baron pit would be. But apart from that, really good vision control here. They don't realize that they are stood on that ward, so not going to be faked out as if they're going for a Baron. The DOG not going to try and out-mind game people here. VGG very much aware of what their overall game plan is. That Baron, that Dragon is coming up in 50. Maybe VGG looks to start up this Baron, since they know that DOG is not on this.
Yeah, I mean, advantage over to VG here, because DOG has to make sure that VG doesn't get this dragon, whereas VG doesn't care if Dorado gets the dragon, right? Just because it's the whole point. So VG can definitely turn and go onto the dragon if they want to. False now going to look for the flashing engage again. Falson's able to flash away from that one. CC's coming out, but is it on the targets you want? 20 bucks is able to get out. He is still alive. Linguini right now is immune, doing so much damage. Kongi is able to get Jarvan over in the backline. So much damage from the Needler coming out on the backline. Linguini is absolutely unleashed at that 3-item Gwen. Frozen Inferno going down to 1. Falson is going to do his best to run away, but the Shuriken lands. Kongi gets the ace, and that's a clean 5-4-0 ace for the side of Dorado Gaming, and potentially the game.
I think that's the game. I don't really see how they're able to be stopped here. They have a really nice wave pushing into these towers, and that is going to be at least 13 seconds until Isonator comes up, and even then I think him alone is not going to be able enough to stop them from getting at least these 2 towers. Surely they take the Nexus here. I think we are going to a game 3 Ginger.
Yeah, well played by Dorado Gaming. It looked absolutely miserable and bleak in that early to mid game, but one massive team fight just turns the entire tides of the game. A 6,000 gold lead swing at once, with that Baron being taken as well, and 2 objective bounties. It's just insane how Dorado Gaming was able to come back from that one.
It really shows how evenly matched these teams are, that when one makes that slight misplay, it starts snowballing and snowballing, because these teams are very, very good at taking these advantage states and being able to pull on these strings, unraveling each team's plan. When you are evenly matched, you cannot afford to make these small mistakes. That was a really good lead that they had on the side of VGG, and that overconfidence, as you said, overzealousness of Foxen really just unwinded the entire lead that they had, kind of through the game almost. I feel it's a little harsh to say that, but it ended up spiraling so badly out of control. I feel like there was no real way for VGG to come back from that.
Yeah, indeed. So we are going to take a quick break while both teams get ready for game 3. Don't go anywhere. It's a banger of a series once again. We will be right back with game 3 of the night. And welcome back, everyone, into the third draft of the night, the third game, 6 games in 2 days for myself and the Mac. Looking forward to potentially another banger of a game. Both teams looking super evenly matched here. Maybe something change in drafts. I don't know. Mac, you're the color here. Tell me what's going on, what you want to see, and what we got to see change from both teams.
I don't really want to see too much change other than their ego. I think the ego could be the downfall of both of these teams, understanding they're both very good. As soon as they start getting a slight lead, they need to respect each other more, because every single time either of these teams has thrown any form of lead, the reason why the other team has won is because it's the other team not respecting that they are still at the same level, they're still at the same power level. Most of these games have been evenly matched throughout, and even when not, still not respecting the fact that the other team has this ability to keep up with them. They are not that far behind in power, they're able to match them in a lot of these trades, so it needs to be that level of respect coming down. VGG banning away the Hecarim here, interesting, maybe trying to maybe understanding how strong that was, because I expected Dorado to try and lock that in again, purely because it just proved so effective and so potent. So with nothing too crazy. That Gwen coming through, obviously that flex pick we saw play jungle and top lane throughout the split. That Jinx ban coming out from the side of Dorado, so we're going to have to see another form of hyper carry. Do you think they'll go for the Vayne again?
I think that's definitely going to be like a last pick kind of vibe, I'm not going to lie. That was just like a specifically very good Vayne angle. I think really VG needs to, you know, give maybe Terra some more room to carry himself instead of putting all your eggs kind of into this basket of Snowfall. I really want to see Terra play something a bit better. I believe in the first week of the league, he had a amazing Akshan game. I'd love to see you have like the R5 counter pick. I'd love to see them give him a chance to shine here. This is the early pick Ezreal coming out from Virtue Gaming Grit, so there's a good chance we will see some sort of strong side play, since Ezreal is traditionally a weak side laner. Jarvan also going to be locked in, traditional Izzo pick here. He is pretty iconic for the Jarvan, very comfortable on it, and nothing wrong with that in my opinion.
Absolutely. I really like Izzo's play on this Jarvan all the way throughout the split, even games beforehand. Izzo has proven himself to understand what he is doing, and I actually really liked seeing Frozen Inferno on that Rakan earlier. Really paired well with that J4. Don't know if we'll see it picked again with the Ezreal. That Lucian coming through, maybe an Enchanter coming through to pair with that Lucian shortly.
Nami.
Yeah, Nami. I kind of like that.
The fish angle.
You have that safe kind of like weak side pick in the.
Okay, Lulu. I'm pretty sure Nami's just better, but maybe Lulu.
I mean, I'm just so bored of Lulu. Give me something different.
Braum?
I'm fine with Lucian Braum. That's a spicy little pick. I'm fine with Lucian Braum. Now, obviously, I shouldn't need to explain why Lucian's passive and Braum's passive combo so well together. I'm not going to insult the viewers at home. You're all very intelligent people. So I kind of like this, an alternate style comparative to the normal Lucian Nami that you see. Can still make usage of Lucian's enhanced passive with Braum W, so you're not completely losing that extra bonus damage element that Lucian has when he pairs with something that is going to be buffing him. Obviously the Ardent Blaze also being able to proc that additional passive. And the Zillion picked here for VGG. What do you Zillion again? What do you feel about this?
This is unironically a good Zillion angle. The problem with Lucian Braum here is that Braum loses to every enchanter in the game, basically. Braum is very good at disengage, and it works well with having 2 auto attack based champions, but you're just giving any enchanter a free scaling lane. You can pick Sona, Yuumi here, it all works the same. Zillion just happens to be the pick of preference. But like instead of Thresh, where you're at like always at risk of getting hooked, Braum, you know, you just kind of outrange him, and you never should get hit by his Q, like, ever. So it feels really good here, and Ezreal is a better champion to play with Zillion. He's one of the champions that actually can do very well with movement speed and survive on his own. I like it. This is probably, out of every Zillion pick we've had, this is my favorite angle so far, especially since I think Virtue Gaming is going to go for a carry on the top side.
Yeah, I really want to see what carry VGG goes through. Is there any particular carry that you know that VGG likes to draft towards their top side?
The only thing I think I've seen is Akshan, but Terra should be able to play most champions. Maybe they'll go with the Graves, try that out. Not too sure. It really depends on Dorado Gaming, what they're going to do with that Gwen. Like I said, the weakness of Gwen on blue side is that you're going to have to expose if it's going top or jungle really early unless you take some sort of flex like a Gragas, right? That might be like, or a Poppy. That could be like the scenario where it's a hard decision. But the advantage of Grit here is they don't really have to care too much. They can wait until they figure out where that's going, and then they can work from there. You know, here it's pretty simple. You just blind a Control Mage. Not bad Victor, not bad Orianna. Vigar is banned, you know, so should be pretty straight up for Grit here if they want to just keep it safe. But I'm also down for something spicy if they want to pull out a crazy pick.
Yeah, I want to see some crazy Anivia. I like this. I feel I'm not bad. They're not bad for that Anivia pick. I kind of like that. Obviously, a decent laning pick. Obviously, you go the same way that that Victor would be picked. Same situation, kind of scenario. Yasuo!
Ooh.
Yasuo coming down in the mid lane to try and be a little spicy. That Yasuo Gragas combo. Very, very nice. Maybe we're going to see a little bit of team fight wombo here coming down. I like this. And, oh, brother versus brother. Oh, this is spicy.
This
the
is
Yone
good.
top?
Okay, this is so good. So, again, big Yone advocate. Yone demolishes Gwen. I'm assuming it's going to be Gwen Jargle, and it's going to be Gragas top. Yone Stole is very nice into Gragas. Gragas will be able to survive, but once Yone gets his items, he scales very well. Anivia is one of Falson's most iconic picks. It's very commonly banned against him, actually. So, complete comfort for Falson. I haven't seen Terra's Yone, but the champion's disgusting. So, and I'm excited for this Yasuo pick into Anivia, too. You know, Yasuo can really run over Anivia, but if Yasuo misplays once or twice, gets stuck on a wall, and eats all of Anivia's ultimate, just 100-0. This is the game. This is the game 3 draft. This is what I'm ready for.
This is literally going to be mechanics versus mechanics. This is people showing off, okay, we're on champions that we understand we can all be playmakers on. I'm pretty sure every single champion in this lobby has high playmaking potential. Yes, even Zillion. I'm really, really keen to see how every single player performs. I really feel like it's not really going to be a case of, oh, I can afford to misstep or misplay here. I'm on this pick that means that I'm supporting my laners. No, this may or may, okay, you may still be supporting your laners with these picks, but at the end of the day, this is your skirmish to be having, this is your game to be playing, and this is every single player, every single one of these 10 people in this lobby's game to win or lose by themselves. And I'm really, really excited to see how this draft goes, Ginger.
Yeah, I mean, this is really going to get down to the point of pure mechanics, like you said. Lucian and Yasuo, extremely mechanical champions from the side of Dorado Gaming. On Virtue Gaming, Grit, Anivia, Yone, and Zillion all get extremely punished if you do not position well and you don't have the mechanics to play them. Even Ezreal is so skill shot reliant. The only champion I'd really say is insanely simple is J4. So I mean, this is lining up to be a historic game 3, might I say. You know, both teams also like prying for this top spot. Dorado Gaming, Epsilon, like we said, already 2-0. Granted, their 2 wins are against the bottom 2 teams in their group so far. And Virtue Gaming, Grit 1-1, but in their one series they did lose. They did go straight toe-to-toe with Team Shadow Specters and took a win off of them. So everything looking so evenly matched right now in the group. And, you know, I really am excited to see how this goes. And honestly, if the past 2 days have been a good, like, a good way of showing how Runeterra Academy is going to be this season, man, I'm excited for there's 4 more weeks, 7 weeks total, so I'm excited for the next 4 weeks.
Absolutely, me too, and I'm excited to be here for every single game that I'm going to be casting, hopefully. So I'm getting really invested in all of these teams here, really invested in the kind of stories that are coming out, all these players, seeing how they're going to grow over these weeks. So this is going to be a really good way of showing off, especially VG Grit, because I feel like the audience at home really loves like watching these guys like show off what they can do, and I feel like we want to watch them develop. Hold
on. I got confirmation that it's Gwen top Gragas jungle.
Okay.
This is bad. I disagree with this. Yone is so much better than Gwen than he is Gragas, in my opinion.
So elaborate on that. What? Explain for the class, Ginger.
I mean, it just gets to a point where Yone just runs down Gwen. Gwen has a lot of initial burst damage and then has to back off, like, quick trades. Yone just gets right on top of Gwen. Gwen can't run away. Yone sticks on top of her and just auto-attacks her to death, especially taking Lethal Tempo. If Gwen takes Lethal Tempo, she has a chance of winning early, but she'll most likely take Conqueror. Yone really, you know, before one item, Gwen can match her, but after one item, it just really spells absolute disaster. So all my eyes this game are on Terra.
So it's up to Terra to be the playmaker that we have seen him be in these past 2 games, maybe on the bit more of a supportive pick, but now Terra is unleashed on this Yone. I'm really keen to see how this goes, and I want us to head into this draft as soon as possible.
Yeah, we will take a quick break. We are going to wait for the spectator delay. Should be about 3-4 minutes for you guys at home watching. Put your feet up. Get ready for an absolute fantastic Game 3. 2 nights in a row. VG Grit not disappointing us. Me and Mac will be right back as we prepare ourselves for a fantastic game. Don't go anywhere. And welcome back, everyone, into game 3 of the night. I am number 2 Ginger, if you have not figured that out already. I am with the Mac, who also, if you have not figured that out, where have you been? But if you're here for the game 3, welcome in. Welcome to this absolute banger of a series. I am your play-by-play and producer with Mac as my beautiful color caster, explaining everything that's going on in this game. Speaking of explaining things, explain what happened in this draft.
Okay, so this draft is so many playmaking carries. A lot of high mechanical plays should be made throughout this entire game. So what we expected, and we discussed this during Champs Light, we expected the Gragas to be drafted on the top side with the Gwen going jungle, but instead DOG chooses to have this Gwen go into this Yone, which we both discussed off stream that we don't think this is good. We think the Yone wins this trade every single time. There's a lot of a weaker top side lane, but in order to try and contest J4's overall presence throughout the map with this early jungle skirmishing using the Gragas. So
something I want to point out immediately is that Linguini took Flash in this matchup. I don't think I've ever seen Gwen with Flash.
I think it's a big safety thing if we're worried about Yone chasing this Gwen down. If Gwen's main issue is
speaking of chasing him down, Terra misses the initial Q though, not gonna get the lethal proc. But now we have an invade fighting on VG's side here. Flash forward, the Braum is gonna get the passive on Isnair, has no flash left, and he is gonna go down. First blood unfortunately goes over to False, but a huge late invade coming out from Dorado Gaming to set the early tempo of the game.
I know I said this was going to be a heavy skirmish game, but there's so much going on our screen already. Terra already down to half health, forced to proc his pot. Linguini going back in. He does not give a single toss about getting any of those minions, relinquishing 3 of them just to try and poke him out of lane. Kongi is zip zooming everywhere, managing to get that first pick down on the invade into Izanea, which is going to mean that Hybrid carry is able to steal away that blue buff, kind of forcing Izzo to start in a very disadvantageous position. There's so much going on right now, Ginger. I love to see it this early into the game. I really want to see more proactive plays from both sides, but at the moment it is DOG kind of owning everything, of understanding that this is the skirmishing game. We are going to skirmish.
Yeah, I mean, something important to note in that topside trade too is that Terra is the one with D-Blade. Linguini has D-Shield, so any even trade advantages go over to Linguini just for that healing. Terra should be the one winning these trades, but he's just not. Gwen does have that level 1 spike where he is stronger than Yon just because of those enhanced autos from the snip E. So it's bad from Terra to take these trades, and is now in a really disadvantageous spot. We're gonna see him, just eat all of this damage right now. Linguini is gonna look for maybe even a kill here as Terra goes way too aggressive there. Terra still has flash. Is he gonna drop the snips? There he goes, the flash from Linguini. Misses!
Oh no!
He misses! Isonator's here. Isonator doesn't drop the flag though. He doesn't drag in. He has no flash. Linguini might get away with absolute murder here. He's getting run down. He's TPing to the tower.
No
He's TPing to get away. Izzo's not gonna find him. Izzo misses at the last second. Linguini, my man, what is going on?
Holy shit is all I can say to what I just watched top lane. That was so intense, and yet the worst mechanics I've seen. How the whiff on that snip, he held it for way too long. Terra flashing away, Linguini thinking he can be cocky by holding his flash. They're forced to flash at the worst time possible. Caught under that tower, barely manages to get away from Izzo. Izzo unfortunately not being able to find him. That TP coming out and getting away. It's shocking that play was even allowed to happen. Oh my goodness. Yeah,
that's about how I feel right now too. Oh boy. So, I mean, TPs are both burned by Terra and Linguini there, and it actually turns into a decent situation for Terra. His lane's in a very good spot. Neither of them have flash, and he just has a decent level and item advantage now with the CS lead. So, maybe this matchup does turn back into Terra's favor, as Isnair is back up here in the top lane and looking for Linguini, looking for the knockup. Is going to land. Terra is going to follow right up with the knockup of his own, and that is going to be a kill over to Terra in the top lane.
Okay, so now we're starting to see this Yone get ahead. Linguini had his early cheese, but unfortunately it's not going to pay off in the grand scheme of things. Terra is already starting to get that lead back. Look at that farm difference now. That XP difference is also going to start stacking up level 3 to level 5, if I'm not mistaken. My eyes do not deceive me. I know it's very late on my end, but I can definitely still see that this is a big disadvantage here on the side of Linguini. does not have the teleport immediately to get back to lane is going to have to watch his minions, his farm burn under that tower. Terra is grinning now, I just know it, and on this first back, able to pick up these Berserker's Greaves. My goodness, it is looking good for the side of VGG.
Yeah, Fletcher Gaming looking pretty good. You know, the one bright side for Dorado Gaming right now is this bot lane. False did get that nice early lead, and Lucian will always naturally bully a scaler like Ezreal, but 20 Bucks name did take the TP this game, so he is completely content with just scaling, sitting back, letting him and Frozen Inferno have a good time, and make sure no kills go over Husky Templar and False, as we haven't really seen Hybrid Carry anywhere on the map so far really do much compared to Isonator. They are going to start Dragon here, and it looks like they're going to take this down uncontested, to a nice tempo play to grab this. But besides that, I mean, Husky Templar has a farm lead, but Isonator is definitely making more impact overall.
Yeah, Isonator has always been like that high impact player though across all of these games in the split. It doesn't shock me too much that he is still being the difference here. Speaking of the Isonator himself, the face heal coming down from Yone going to go wide.
Yeah, no play going to be made there. A nice try by Terra to try to land that ultimate, but Linguini properly spaced that, and a bit of a obvious force there from the side of VG. So Terra now losing any kill threat since he had to burn that ultimate.
Yeah, that is unfortunate. Maybe could have played a little bit more patient. I understand what the play was there, but unlucky that nothing was able to come out of it.
Oh, Hybrid Carry is going to find Isonator right on his Gromp. Isonator is not going to be able to smite that one away. I believe it was just coming up, so Hybrid Carry is going to take that. But thankfully, the Blast Plant is up. But here is Linguini now fighting Isonator, but Frozen Inferno is up here on the top side. Terra's not able to get over the wall, though. He has no ultimate. This is what happened earlier, and now Isonator was going to have to flash away after getting the knock-up. So a consequence of that earlier misplay shows pretty obviously there, as Frozen Inferno got a nice rotation timer.
Yeah, that is the kind of small things you don't think about when you start throwing out these spells. Earlier was talking about how the threat of an uncast spell is often more important.
Terra a little overextended here. False match that roam timer, and is now Terra trying to 1v2 inside. 1v3 now going on the Linguini. Has the passive stacks from Brawl on here. Here's Hybrid Carry going to get the body slam into the stun from False's passive. Gets a shield from his W. Dashes away. Trying to run away. Isonator is trying to help, but now it is the whole party. Kagi is up here himself. Frozen Inferno running away. Terra now looking onto Linguini, gonna gift the kill over to his own laner. What a selfless guy, giving the kill to his own laner rather than someone else's lane. You appreciate that if you're in Falsen's shoes, but a nice collapse from Dorado.
Yeah, that was... Okay, overcockiness from the side of Terra. Loses that kill threat, loses the escape potential. That flash was still on CD, maybe stepping a bit too far forward for the lack of vision control you have in this top side, especially when your jungler isn't in a position in which he can immediately back you up in that position. Very, very unfortunate there from Terra. I want him to be the difference, but he can't afford to make these silly mistakes this early on. These are mistakes that I would rather him make now, though, than make later. So we'll have to see. Now, DOG may be understanding that these mistakes are going to be made, trying to capitalize and punish these as much as humanly possible to try and catch up. Obviously, I feel like... it's pretty obvious. VG, I think, wins when they hit late here. I could be argued with, because that late game team fight with the Gragas Yasuo looks kind of crazy. But I definitely favor VG here again when it hits this late. So it is about DOG trying to shut down VG before they manage to hit these spikes, trying to bully as much as possible. As you said, the Lucian naturally going to bully this weak side laner, trying to look for as many leads as possible. They need to keep it up. They need to keep this pressure and lay it on. Terra going right there with the Q.
Oh, here comes the dive into bot lane, though. As Husky Temper's flashing right onto 20 Bucks name. 20 Bucks name's going to walk that one out. Cass comes down on Isonator. Isonator has no flash, so he's going to go down. As the dive is now coming in top lane from VG, but Linguini is just 2v1ing right now. Frozen Inferno's got the flash away. Last turret shot's not going to take him down. Terra looking for the turn here. Is going to get the shield, but the last snip from the fourth proc is going to win. And that's a huge play for Dorado, as it felt like Frozen Inferno was just AFK pushing with Terra in the top lane there.
Yeah, that's really good, and that's almost a 2k gold lead now coming in for the side of Dorado. They understand what the assignment is, and they understand what their win condition is. That is exactly what I'm talking about when I'm referring to that kind of bully play style. Linguini taking absolutely none of it from Terra. It doesn't matter if there's two people in this lane, he'll still get that kill regardless. Terra burning the flash a little bit early without consideration where he's going to go next. A little bit of a panic play there. Maybe needs to calm the nerves down, before he just makes these decisions, because I feel like engaging there underneath that tower, trying to tower dive not once but twice, and he's going for it again. Obviously, he does have that level advantage and farm advantage on this Gwen, but I'm not sure these are the plays you need to be making, especially now that Izzo has been spotted out by this ward. You can't really make those plays. Linguini is going to respect the fact that you can engage down. Kongi is getting this turret play in that mid lane. They're just looking for these small advantages across the map right now, trying to minimize the potential leads that VG can get anywhere, trying to delay this inevitable timer, as I will call it. I really do believe that there is an inevitable timer. And speaking of play,
game, netting engaged on Hypercarry is going to drop the cask. A nice position there into the knockup from False is going to be the kill,
huge.
and that felt very easy there. A nice job getting the combo chain CC there from Hypercarry and False.
yeah, it wasn't really much of a fight there. I really, really like how that play worked. It felt very 1-2 smooth. The body slam did initially go wide, was slightly worried, but that exploding cask into the Glacial Fissure was very, very smooth, having enough damage to pick this up. Is that going to be a 3-man engage here on the top side? That Rift Herald is ready to go. So if they want to siege here, that turret plate, the tower on top only has 3 turret plates left. That is basically a dead tower if they commit to this, but that is going to be a Drake traded on the side of Dorado. So that is a Hex Rift as well. Oh, I'm really happy we got this. Game 3, my favorite Rift as well. Excellent.
I mean, here we go on the top lane now. Linguini's bringing down to 1 HP. Terra didn't pop the ultimate, so he thought he might have had the damage there, but this is a classic case of a split map here. Terra, 104 to 39, farm nearly a Flame Horizon at 11 minutes with all this topside pressure. Kongi now getting collapsed on the mid lane from Frozen Inferno and the Isonator. Kongi has flash. He drops the wind wall, is not able to hit really anything. Cataclysm comes out. Frozen Inferno is right behind Isonator with ulti to protect him. That's going to be Kongi going down to Falsen.
Again, these small... Good play, but you can see how when VG gets their stuff together, they can make it happen. Being able to catch up this gold lead now, being close on, not even close to being that 1k.
Oh, hybrid carry?
Waiting for something.
There he goes. He looks for the flash by side, but misses. He hits a minion. The cast comes out on Frozen Furrow, but doesn't matter. Hybrid carry has no mana left, and it is just false the support there. A disaster from hybrid carry.
At least at the minimum, he did manage to get them off the tower, not being able to profit too much off of the Rift Herald. The tower going to stay alive on those 2 turret plates, going to remain up a little bit longer.
Yeah, I mean, again, back to this top lane. This is the whole win con for VG at this point. He's up so much CS. He's so close to his first item in that Immortal Shield Bow. Linguini, when he does stuff like that, you know, it feels so illegal, but does have the half his item completed. But, you know, at the same time, as I say that, Terra is going aggressive on Linguini here. Linguini drops the needlework, looking for the play onto Terra. Terra's able to dodge out the last of it, though, and now looking for the fight himself. I think this is a big advantage for the Yone. He drops the ultimate, but a flash out from Linguini. That's the advantage of taking the flash in this matchup, as we pointed out pregame, and it looks like both of them are going to back out after ultimates are dropped.
This cautious playstyle is honestly really rewarding on this Gwen. Obviously, the huge farm deficit, but being able to take these trades and win them because Terra is going all in. Linguini has a little bit more mobility, being able to match Terra. Not able to be chased down as much with that flash up when it's off CD. Terra obviously not expecting it, going and making a lot of these plays, expecting Gwen to have none of these flashes.
Fight coming in on the mid lane. Here comes hybrid carry. False drops the ultimate. It's going to be Kongi not popping his own. Ultimate's coming up from Frozen Inferno corner shift to keep himself alive. Isonator and Fulsner over the wall. Here comes a knockup. A 2-man from Isonator does not have Cataclysm yet, but the ultimate coming out from Anivia is doing so much damage, melting False completely. And he is down to 1 HP. Isonator will awkwardly take that kill, as it felt like no one wanted to finish that one off. 20 bucks name. Getting Dove here from Husky Templar. Flashes away from the light binding, or excuse me, the Lucian Q. But Husky Templar is going to live after that clean dive. Still had his sums not even close, baby. So this Lucian now getting super strong for Dorado.
That was honestly, I Frozen Inferno played that stupid well. Guy manages to pop his ult, stay alive. That was a 3-man time bomb stun, and that was really, really big, keeping them all caught inside that Anivia ult, ticking them down, wearing them away. Obviously not ideal that he got the kill in the end. We obviously want those kills to go onto Anivia. Anivia unable to pick any of those up, but that was still really, really big play there from the side of VG.
Yeah, now VG in the top side here. Isonator taking away some of Hybrid carries camps as he has been in most of the game. Still down 30 CS, as we have seen consistently that he is down a significant amount of CS to Hybrid carry each game, but he's always exerting the pressure and making sure he's making plays around the map. However, Hybrid carry on the scoreboard looking pretty efficient himself, 1-0-3. Gold lead though, exactly dead even for both teams. We're at another stalemate with Dragon spawning in a minute 10.
But we do have 2 dragons already on the side of DOG here. Dorado has that statistical advantage. Both have 1 turret down already, but the 2 drakes do mean that if DOG gets this dragon, it puts them on the soul point. It forces the tempo around them because they have to force VGG into these fights. That is a pause coming through. Is there any information on that one, Ginger?
I will let you know in just a minute as I open up the chat. It looks like the ADC for Dorado has disconnected. I'll let you know any updates as we get them. But in the meantime, as we have a few seconds, let's talk about this kind of split map game state that we have going on with VG playing so heavily towards Terra and Dorado playing heavily so much towards Husky. Which team do you think it's more beneficial for?
I feel like at the end of the day, Terra's just going to snowball better than Husky. Husky obviously is that strong, like early to mid, but Lucian does fall off comparative to that Yone, who is just going to be an absolute force of nature when it hits this late game. Even then, it's not too much of a spike that Yone needs to hit to get going, but he's only going to remain getting stronger. It's harder for an ADC to keep up against something like that Yone. Obviously, I could be proven wrong. Lucian still is a very high mechanical champion. There is the room for outplays there, so we might have to see something come through from Husky Templar to really show off what he can do, be able to match Terra here. And even though a lot of resources have been invested to Terra, it feels like the gold lead there isn't a crazy. We're getting back into the game in a second, just being able to buffer up, transitioning back here. Even though a lot of resources have been invested into Terra, the gold lead just isn't as big as what we should expect, whereas Husky Templar is being very self-sufficient in what he can do with this gold lead, being able to keep schmoving. Has a slightly picked up that Gale Force, probably going to hit that Essence Reaver soon, and whilst he won't scale crazy as hard as Terra does, they might not even need to scale that hard at the end of the day.
I'm just adding some buffer to the time controls. Every time there's a pause, there's always a nice spectator bug. So I'm going to give it about 20-30 seconds to sync back up, make sure we don't have any issues. But I think another important point to point out is, we have this big side lane split, but in that middle lane, Falson has grown a significant lead over Kongi, 0-2 on this Yasuo. Falson 1-0-2 with a 40 CS lead, Mythic versus no Mythic on Kongi. So that might end up being the deciding factor in this big dragon fight.
Yeah, absolutely. You understand Anivia's crazy zone control. It makes it very, very hard for DOG to look for these avenues of fighting. Has to be all up in their face. They're all auto attackers at the end of the day. Lucian is not crazy high range enough to skirt around Anivia. Terra may be looking for a play here on Linguini, not going to do anything too special. But yeah, that zone control coming down from Folson. All he needs to do is slap down that ultimate, and you now have that crazy pressure all over the place. I love to see it from the side of VG. Folson understanding that he can afford to try and bully this Yasuo slightly, not going to be as crazy strong, and if he's not making these crazy mechanical outplays in the early game, does end up winning this and is able to keep moving on forward with it. I like the crown pick here too, obviously trying to negate that high engage burst from the side of DOG, and there's not a lot of poke damage that comes down from them as well, so that crown is going to stay up and healthy, ready for these fights, so I wouldn't expect to see that popped before the primary engage. And Nivea wants to stay alive for as long as possible to keep that glacial storm up. I love to see it. Great item choice from Fulton. Good itemization.
Yeah, Dragon going over there to the side of VG. Hybrid carry threw over his cask, praying for a miracle that he'd get it. Pretty funny to watch always, but was not able to grab that for himself. So Dragon nicely secured from VG. Looks like Dorado decided they weren't strong enough to take that fight. They would rather Yasuo back up and get their Immortal Shield Bow. So they're okay with giving over that one Dragon for the time being. As Frozen Inferno is getting a bit caught out here. Flash forward from False, gets the knockup. The Resurrect is coming back onto, but TP is now coming out from the side of Dorado. Looks like Falson's going to get flanked on here, and now it looks like VG's collapsing on Linguini in the top side, so they will trade that kill back. But now the Egg Nivea comes out. Big shutdown going over to the side of Kongi. It's not who you want to see this goal on if you're VG. So a nice play there from Dorado to pick up some tempo.
Why am I caster cursing these guys? Every single time I sing praise about anyone, it always seems to be some slight overconfidence and misplay. I feel like
Tara.
Frozen Inferno.
Tara.
Speaking of overconfidence and stepping forward.
Tara, you're strong, but not that strong. Has to flash away. Realizes his mistake. Is now getting engaged on by Husky Templar. Drops the Cataclysm. Flag and drags out, but I think he might have wanted to get a little bit farther. Husky Templar is looking for the killer. Here's a flash forward to Kagi out to the flashless Tara. Gets exhausted, but it does not matter as Tara is going to get so permanently locked down. Frozen Inferno is giving so much movement speed, but it does not matter how much movement speed you can give if he cannot move. Punishment coming onto Tara for the earlier greed.
Yeah, yeah, right before that team fight breaks out, speaking about Frozen Inferno stepping forward, Falston getting picked off, Terra also meeting the same fate. Overconfidence. Overconfidence will be VGG's downfall. They need to keep themselves in check so they do not throw away these even matchups. Because that's what it's been throughout this entire series. These teams are so evenly matched in skill. Overall, in game state, they understand where their spikes are, and they are both playing around each other pretty well, especially with objective control, the like, etc., etc. But there is one mistake that both of these teams share, and that is overconfidence, stepping forward when they shouldn't be, not understanding their own power levels, but understanding their... It's silly behavior, especially, and I feel like this has happened every time Frozen Inferno has gone the Zillion here, has stepped forward a bit too far out, and has got caught out quite a few times. And that seems to start the snowballing, and that seems to start everyone stepping forward and getting caught out. So we need to see less of that from the side of VGG if they want to actually win this game 3.
Yeah, something to point out here is that Hybrid Carry is going full AP on this Gragas, it seems. So going to be very, very squishy overall from Dorado. So a lot of potential burst from VG maybe. Terra, Isminator, and Falster could all do a lot of damage real quick as Terra is now getting collapsed on. Remember, no flash, no ultimate yet. It's just coming up, and there it is, pops out. Terra getting that Immortal Shield proc, but I don't think it matters as the class comes out. He's able to dodge, actually, the last ultimate from Linguini and turns around. A huge play by Terra as his team is here to collapse. Turning around, this is the power of Yone. This is what you pick Yone for. A double kill for Terra in the top lane, proving that he is the real hybrid carry.
To see that. That is crazy. Oh yeah, Yone does deal hybrid damage.
Yes, he does.
I love to see it. Husky Templar picking up that mid tower to try and find an answer for that excellent top play from Terra. See, that is what I mean. These teams understand these avenues on how each other plays. They understand where they can be finding these advantages. But it's just about who goes first. As we said last game, it's more of a who goes first thing, who's making forward and stepping forward and making these plays. It's who goes first, but it's also who doesn't slip up first. It's a game of patience. I think this one is a game of patience and a game of trying to find these tiny little cracks in this armor and piercing through just at the right time. Yeah. How did Yone get all the way over there? What the hell?
I mean, I feel like there's been like no big 5v5 team fight yet. It's just been someone getting caught and like random skirmishes across the map. So I'm really excited to see if we're ever going to see that, or maybe the game just literally falls apart due to skirmishes. We're still dead even in gold at 20 minutes in the game. These teams are just so well matched, I feel. It's like so interesting to see this back and forth dynamic and how just like the game has evolved from these previous two. Both teams in each other's heads, it feels like, just pick after pick after pick.
It's great. It's great gameplay, and I'm sure everyone at home is enjoying watching this as much as I am casting it. This is really, really intense stuff. This is the players trying to play at their best, even recognizing their mistakes and not making the same mistake over and over again, but trying to fix it after it is done, unlike what we saw in these other games. Maybe trying to learn from their mistakes from the other games, recognizing as soon as they make them. TP coming down from the side of Terra, trying to match that fight, but Gwen is also going to TP in. Maybe looking for this Hex Drake, understanding that they need this Drake to put them out. The Rift Herald coming down in the mid lane, though.
It looks like VG are going to commit onto the Dragon here. Rift Herald pushing down the mid lane. It's going to be a tier 2, at least going down. TP coming down to Falson on the tier 3 mid lane tower. He is the Anivia. He can wave clear that wave super, super well. So I don't think they're going to get more than one tower here, as it looks like now the flank is coming up from VG. But Linguini is here. Linguini is going to do so much damage initially, and that is a wipe coming out from Dorado, but a huge 4-man Cataclysm. But I don't think VG has the damage anymore. Falson is getting so much damage with the Glacial Storm, but they were able to get out. 20 bucks name just does not do enough damage yet. He's shooting these Mystic shots, doing what he can, running away from Linguini, but he is running to his death. I believe he has Flash. He's going to pop it. The Arcane Shift should be coming back soon, but there is just nothing to run from at that point. A clean fight from Dorado. They're taking out so many members of VG.
makes you think if Anivia hadn't had to TP back and try and match that wave, clear that wave so that Rift Herald does not take that inhib tower, that was a really, really, really good Cataclysm from Isonator, even though they were caught out in that small chokehold. I feel like if Folsom was there to try and play off of that, that would have been a massive team wipe there. But unfortunately, that is what could have been and not what is. And what is...
Linguini's gonna get popped!
He's
So
getting
much
killed by
damage from
Frozen
Folsom! Frozen Inferno on top of that, and that's gonna be Folsom. This is the scaling Anivia and the Zillion doing so much damage together as a mage combo. Folsom level 15 already has the Shadow Flame. If you eat one of his, his REs, he's just doing so much instant damage. Now Baron being started up by VG here.
Crazy. This is crazy. It's just constant back and forth. I can't even tell you who's winning. I literally couldn't tell you if they win a fight that this is like the definitive, okay, they're in this winning state now. But I think we can say that if getting this Baron, it does put VGG on this up foot, trying to find advantages elsewhere across the map. DOG are pushing out these lanes, but they're going to back off, respecting the fact that they can no longer contest these, instead trying to take out this jungle in the bot side for VGG. It's so crazy.
Okay. We're good. He just wanted to take the portal. He forgot they were in the games. Like, guys, we should be taking portals. And, okay. No worries.
These guys stressing me out. What's going on? I'm on the edge of my seat. There's so many.
Terra finds Linguini here. Terra has a lot of damage. You might be able to take Linguini out immediately. Misses the ultimate. It's going to be one more Q to finish him off. Does not get it. Isonator's here, though. Here comes the portal. He's going behind. He's behind enemy lines right now. There's no one on VG to get him there. Isonator is following him. Here comes Falson, though, on the flank. I don't think Linguini sees him. It's going to be a stun into the kill. Terra getting the top lane tower.
Oh, that's an Uber Eats delivery of a free kill to Anivia, and look at this siege top lane having two people there forced to match that. But I feel like VGG isn't trying to find any advantages elsewhere. Look at that bot wave. You could have someone shoving that out, but instead choosing to have this 4-1 split. I kind of like this, shoving out this mid wave. Yone applying pressure on this top. Yone understanding that he can be a 1v3 machine if necessary with this Baron buff. Ginger, help me! I'm not sure what to make of this game anymore.
Don't ask me, man. I'm just here to say half the ability names that I know. I don't get paid for this, so, I'm not trying to learn all names, but I do know the ones as Isonator's getting caught out. Cask into the ultimate from Yasuo. The bomb's coming over the side from Frozen Inferno, going down so low onto Kongi. Kongi is going to get collapsed on there. Terra looking to maybe go forward, is not. So a 1-for-1 trade initially, as VG is looking to keep pressuring the attack here with the Baron. Wants to get the mid lane push in, has the top wave going. 20 bucks name and Frozen Inferno have so much active poke and damage coming through. But it looks like VG is going to play this one safe, going to back out a little bit. Knows they don't have Isonator for the engage, disengage, and Cataclysm. So they will take their 1 kill and run.
Frozen Inferno with these 4-pointers is absolutely insane. These stuns have been so reliable when they've mattered recently. A little bit of whiffs in the first game, but we're really seeing this Zillion Q coming out and showing its value there, locking down that Yasuo. Maybe he gets away in a different scenario, but that Zillion making sure that he ain't going anywhere, and I love to see it from Frozen Inferno being the difference support playing here. I love to see it. I like this. I like everyone's playing here really smart from the side of VGG, trying to take it and run with this Baron buff, but also good on DOG managing to hold against it as well as they possibly can. It could have been a complete disaster, but instead it's going to be a dragon
here comes
fight.
the engage from Hypercan. A huge body slam kill. Gets too solo into the cast. The Cataclysm's coming out. Falson can't get the Glacial Storm out yet. I think it's on cooldown, but a huge knockoff from Terra does so much damage. Hypercarry's in the Zonies. Kongi's in the backline. He kills one, but it does not matter as VG is running amok. Terra is absolutely unleashed. Falson flashes the knockup, hits Terra instead, and now Kongi's going sicko mode. Is not going to make it happen, though. Triple kill over to Terra as 4 members of Dorado fall. Husky Templar is on his heels running back to base.
Terra making sure that Dorado's fate is sealed. I love to see this guy flashing that Mastery 4 emote on Yone. I've really got to appreciate Terra, even though maybe a little bit silly plays coming into this early game. The guy understanding that he can be confident now. He is going in. What an amazing ultimate coming out, catching those 3 people, guaranteeing you that team fight win. Good stuff all around from every single member of VGG. Maybe not 20 bucks name, dude. Pick it up a little bit.
20 bucks name is trying. He's here along for the ride, picking the weak side Ezreal.
I mean, hey, if you pick the weak side, and unfortunately you don't get too much influence of that, good on you for picking the weak side in the first place, right? Like, you've taken one for the team. I appreciate that. So 20 bucks name, you're appreciated. You're not popping off.
Here goes Terra onto Kongi. He has so much damage to give, but Kongi's able to dash and slash away. Has those Krugs that Terra was used against him, actually. So Terra might have been his own worst enemy there. So no kill coming out there, but VG looking to be proactive here, looking to make some plays. They know they have the advantage. Falson is going to see False there. Gets the wall in. A lot of damage going to go on to False. Drops to half HP. The Guardian procs so he doesn't lose too much health. And VG looking to make something happen. Can't necessarily find it. At the same time, Linguini's pushing inside. Here comes the play. Out from False. Looks for the flash. Cast comes out. One knock up, two. That's going to be onto the Epsilon. That's not the target you want. Terra is not here, though. He has no TP. This might be a good fight for Dorado, but False is getting so much damage, and this Anivia is so strong if he's untouched. Able to live at 1 HP. 20 bucks name is here. Linguini's going aggressive. Looking for the play onto Frozen Inferno. Stun comes out on the False. 20 bucks name is able to pick it up. No, goes to Frozen Inferno instead with the bomb, the real carry. False looking for the play. Terra has arrived. Terra looking to play. Anivia comes out. Anivia does not care about your kills. He is going to live. Double kill coming out for Terra, and the only remaining member for Dorado Gaming is Lucian on Husky Templar.
And you have to think that that's basically a free Baron onto the side of VGG. What an excellent team fight. Really nice try there with Hybrid Carry with the double cask knock up into the immediate last breath from the side of Yasuo. Really nice start, but unfortunately you're against Anivia in a small choke area, and that is just going to absolutely melt your health off. Falson absolutely putting the work in. It's kind of disgusting to see. And again, Zillion with these bomb stun combos. This guy opting to go for the Cosmic Drive, understanding, yeah, I'm doing the damage.
False, no, this is not
oh my god, what are you doing?
It's a 1v3 False! False! No!
Why?
It's all falling apart for Dorado Gaming in game 3 at 30 minutes in the game, down 6,000 gold. They are choking. False jumps into the enemy's waiting hands and gives a VG a free Baron to potentially close out the game with.
It really feels like VG is winning the mental game here. What an awful decision there coming through from False. You have no vision control in your own jungle. You have no vision lines. Look, you're down to your tier 3 inhib towers. You don't even have one of them. That isn't your jungle anymore. That belongs to VGG. You don't have the right to step that far forward in your jungle. You don't have the right to take that Hex Gate, and you do have the right to give your life away to VGG. That is just absurd decision making. I'm quite shocked, really. Ugh.
Yeah.
Anyways.
It's pretty. It's pretty. I mean, this is VG's game to lose now, right?
Absolutely. I think VG has to throw. VG doesn't have to
has
win.
To throw. Let's go.
VG has to throw. They don't have to win, they have to throw. That is the only way they lose this game. They don't have to look for the win. The win's basically here for them. They've already got their win condition. They understand how they are. They have this Baron. They have the Drake Soul Point coming up in 1 minute.
Oh, Linguini stepping up a bit aggressively. Okay, Gwen is immune. No worries.
Gwen's immune. But look at 20 bucks name could be caught out here by the Lucian.
He's fine. He's got the Arcane Shift. The camera didn't even go there. Didn't even care about it. Husky Templar dropping the culling there. Not going to find much damage. A bit of an awkward stand-up. They're going to go in now. Left for Linguini, the Cataclysm is not going to find it. True Shot Barrage comes out. Does a lot of damage to Husky Templar. False stunned. Big cast coming out, though. Isn't there? False and caught out. Frozen Inferno untouched. Terra with a big ultimate into the Cataclysm. Knowing Glacial Storm is doing so much damage. False has the ultimate revive on him. Now Terra, it is his turn to go in and make the plays. He backs out because he's a little scared. But it does not matter. 20 bucks name is starting to do so much damage. This is the range advantage coming through. Husky Templar has been outscaled. Frozen Inferno is 1v1ing Linguini. Okay, he does not win this one.
Teleporting into the top side as well. The double teleport coming through. They want to end the game now.
VG looking for the end. 20 bucks. He gets the shutdown on Husky Templar. Refuses to let him recall. Isn't just going to dance here, Linguini, and not let him move. VG has the base. VG has the inhibitor. They're going for the Nexus Tower and going for the win.
Izzo is taking no prisoners. He wants to stop Linguini. What an amazing game 3, and well done to VGG. Absolute domination here coming in at the end. Well done from these players.
Absolutely fantastic game coming out from Virtue Gaming Grit there to take game 3 of the series. What a fantastic comeback from game 2. What a fantastic just mental reset, especially coming off of that loss yesterday. Insane to watch. You guys can't see my camera, but during that whole time, my hands were going everywhere. I was flying everywhere. It was just too hype for me to handle.
Absolutely. I loved seeing how that went down. I believe we are going to get an interview coming up here soon with, I believe, Isonator. So I'm very excited to converse with this man. He is my series MVP personally. I love seeing this guy's Jarvan, so I want to be able to get into this interview.
Yeah, we do have Izzo here. Izzo, welcome to the call. Congratulations on the win, and thank you for joining us.
Hey guys, what's going on? Thank you very much. We're all pretty proud. I think we all played well.
Awesome.
Absolutely.
My first question to you is going to be, coming out of a close series yesterday, what was your guys' mentality coming in to the series today?
For me, I was kind of just pissed for the past like 24 hours. I was really mad after last night. I think I played like shit. I drafted like shit. So yeah, I really just wanted to prove that we're still a good team, and I wanted to come out with 3 good drafts, and I wanted to play solid, even if we won or lost. So yeah, I think we accomplished that tonight. So I'm happy.
Absolutely. You guys displayed the fact that you have this mechanical skill. That Jarvan pick, I love the amount of like kill influence you had throughout the game. You were the playmaker early. You were playing around these win conditions. Really excellent drafting. How do you feel about your top laner, by the way? I feel like he put in the work. Terra was kind of going crazy in that game 3. Underrated player in that game 1 and 2. That Shen, really, really useful. What do you think? How do you feel that your top laner played?
Yeah, Terra's a great player. He can play weak side, he can play strong side, as seen in the series. He sticks it out on the tanks for us a lot of times, which is really helpful for us. And he played a great Yone game this game. So, yeah, I mean, he's a versatile player. He can do anything. He's a fucking god. Yep.
So going off that, what was maybe the decision after a rough game 2, where clearly you guys had a lead and fell behind? What were you guys thinking game 3? Pushing Terra onto that more strong side champion.
Yeah, so we knew that we had the lead in game 2, and we're pretty disappointed in ourselves for throwing it. But we knew that if we just came out, played a solid game 3, that we would win. Yeah, we've been playing really well the first 2 games, so we weren't really worried about game 3. They kept blinding the Gwen, which we had counters for, and we decided to pull out the Yone in game 3. They actually picked Lucian Braum on B2, B3, so that signaled to me that they had minimal kill pressure bot on our Ezreal, which we picked early. So we decided to just commit to the roaming Zillion, use R5 for top counter. We knew Yone would be a great pick into Gwen, so that's what we went with, and yeah.
Yeah, really, really good stuff. Really impressed with how you guys played today. Really nice step up from how we saw you playing yesterday. Really, really nice to see this overall comeback. I'm just impressed. I can't really say much more. I'm just way too impressed with how that last game go. Do you feel like Dorado was a really, really hard matchup for you guys, or do you think it was kind of easy? Because every game felt pretty close. Obviously, the score line was pretty close until that final swing, always at the end of each of the 3 games. I'd say that last game was probably the most convincing win out of all of them. But either way, guys seem pretty evenly matched. What's your opinion on that?
Yeah, I think we had their number this series. I think we were ahead all 3 games this series, and we should have won game 2. I mean, there's not really much to say about it. They're supposedly one of the better teams in the league, but yeah, I mean, if they're the best, I'm feeling pretty good about RA this season. So
I like your ego, Izzo. I resonate with that. I like that. Good stuff.
Mm-hmm. So you guys are 2-1 now. 4 weeks left on the season. 18 group, I believe, only or bottom 2 drop out. So are you guys shooting for the top of the league? Are you looking to win out the rest? Are you trying to keep expectations moderate? How do you feel you're going to do for the rest of the regular season and potentially playoffs?
well, obviously playing for VG, we want to win the championship, so that's what we're going to go for. Yeah, I mean, we're going to do everything we can to win games. I spent like an hour on draft prep today just doing picks and bans. So I'm putting in the work. The team's putting in the work. We're playing more solo queue. We're practicing more, and we want to win.
That's great stuff, and we love to hear it. I think the teams that put in the work, play together, go far together, and I'm really excited to hear that you've got high ambition. That is great stuff, Izzo.
Yeah, we're looking forward to the season. It should be fun.
All right. Well, Mac, if you have no further questions, Izzo, if you have anyone you want to shout out or anything you want to thank, now is your time while you are on the official Virtue Gaming broadcast.
Well, shout out to my team. I love this team. Great group of guys. No one's mental broke this series, despite the tough game 2 loss. So big ups to VG Grit. I'd like to thank Sly for being the best org owner in all of amateur. And thanks to you guys for casting our games. It's a lot of casts for all the VG teams, so thanks a lot.
Oh, thank you for making it a banger and making Mac have to stay up to past 3 a.m. for 2 nights in a row.
Yeah, Frank. It's almost 4 a.m., dude. Come on, this is the second time you've gone to game 3. I'm dying out here.
My bad.
All right, but
Nah,
we
it's
will.
such a pleasure, though.
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off there.
Oh, no, it's such a pleasure being able to cast these excellent games, so I wouldn't mind staying up at all to see this go to another Game 3 in your next scenario, Izzo. Please keep giving us great content.
I'll try, man. I'll do my best.
All right, well, we will wrap it up here. Thank you to all of our viewers for tuning in for the past night and potentially 2 nights if you're a big fan of VG Grit. Congratulations to VG Grit once again on the victory, and GG's over to Dorado Gaming Epsilon. Hope they have a great rest of their season. Thank you all for tuning in. Make sure you leave a follow on our Twitch channel, a follow on our Twitter at Virtue Gaming GG, I believe. And make sure you stick around for our next stream. I believe we'll be streaming tomorrow night at 8 p.m. It will be Virtue Gaming Ambition versus Team Ambition Black in Runeterra Academy Senior. So moving up a class, I'll be up there in the top lane. So have a great night, everybody. Izzo, thank you for joining us. Mac, thank you for casting with me. We will hopefully see you all again very soon.